All right, welcome back, everyone. We're coming into session 3 of Stranded, so thank you guys for coming out. Before I turn it over to Keith, I do have a few things I do want to shout out real quick. The first one being, come hang out with us tomorrow too. We got a session tomorrow, the One Ring RPG, so the Lord of the Rings RPG. I'm gonna be running that tomorrow. I'm actually doing their Stranded mode, which is a solo RPG mode for it. This will be my first time running a solo RPG. Super nervous about that, but it should be pretty fun. So come hang out. Check out the YouTube if you want to see some more about the One Ring RPG. And then if you come hang out with us on the day, we're going to be raffling off a copy of the PDF too. So you can bring the One Ring back to your table too. But I think, yeah, that's everything I had to promote today. So I'll turn it over to Keith.
All right. So this is episode 3. 3, right? This will be episode 3 of Stranded. So quick recap of last session. So the group was to go and investigate. A couple of people from the Elmberg, the town nearby, didn't check in. So they were asked to go and check in with the mayor and see if they needed anything after the appearance of the worms and a lot of the other incidents going on. They were a little suspicious. So the group went out on behest of Security Officer Alovi, checked in with the mayor. The mayor said that there were 3 farms that hadn't checked in. And so they went up to the first farm and found the farmer there, and he was perfectly fine. And they went and checked on the second farm, and they found that the worms actually did attack the Trandoshan farm, but they had fought them off. And then finally they went to go check on the third farm, and unfortunately the farm was overrun with the worms. The group got attacked, and but they were able to fight them off. So they took this knowledge back to the mayor, gave him the bad news about the farmers that they had lost, and that the worms were attacking the outskirts. The mayor had assured them that he would provide safety for his fellow citizens, and they returned to the Genesis. They did find a few key pieces of information, and one of those pieces of information we're going to have to retcon a little because I had said the wrong thing. And so after they had, security officer, the engineer had triangulated some of the astrology and navigation information, they had found that there was actually an unstable or irregular orbit of the moon around the planet. And every about 50 years, this caused an eclipse to happen, and the eclipse lasts for 3 days. So in this part of the world, the sun disappears for 3 days, and it happens every 50 years. And in conjunction with that, they found out that was actually going to be 60 days away. So in 60 days, there's going to be an eclipse that's going to last for 3 days. I had previously told the group 30 days. Always check your notes. They say over prepare or don't over prepare, just over prepare. So it's going to be 60 days, and then there's going to be a 3-day eclipse that's going to happen. And so they took this information back to the captain and to the security officer. And I think that is where we are going to pick up. So assume you'd have an opportunity to take a long rest, debrief the security officer, Alavi, and so you'll wake up the next morning, and actually the captain will be wanting to speak with you directly. And so he will summon you to his office when you're up and about. But before then, is there anything the group would like to do, or any individual people would like to do?
Has anyone visited the museum?
Yeah, I've checked it out. I came by. So this is the wonderful collection of which you speak. Please, tell me about these displays.
Yes. This is a toothbrush from the before times. And this, a commemorative mug of one Zerka tech from the before times, missing its handle, of course. And this.
Wait, so you're telling me mugs are not usually made without handles? They usually come with a handle? Am I saying that
Yes,
right? A handle?
yes. In the
Hmm.
before times, it was standard.
Interesting, interesting. And you're saying a toothbrush. Would people replace their teeth with brushes? Is that what that is?
It was a cleaning implement used for your fragile bones that stick out from your gums.
Ah, yes. Okay. I just thought we'd grow new ones because I'm pretty sure that's a thing we have in this universe. Growing new things or getting robot pieces. Interesting.
And this. I don't know what this is, but it is interesting to me. And it is old. Just like a petrified something.
Ah, a rock! Yes, rocks. I used to collect rocks on Papa's estate.
Excellent. I could use some of those for my exhibits.
Oh, I'm afraid it was on that planet that we're refugees from, so I don't think anyone's going to Papa's estate for quite some time.
That simply makes it more intriguing.
I don't disagree.
And I think that's a good place to leave off that.
Topic like he starts to go in, but then he hears this talk about toothbrushes and rocks, and he just like, quit this, I'm going hunting. And he goes, he just walks right on.
All right. So as you kind of approach the captain's office, you'll see security officer Alabi already inside talking with the captain. And as the captain sees you approach, he'll kind of wave you in and say, yeah. Come on in, have a seat." And he'll actually his office is actually pretty nice. He's got some kind of luxurious chairs for the group to kind of to sit in. You can see that he's got quite a collection of maybe some they would have been considered, nice amenities 200 years ago. He actually kind of collects them around his office as he travels the galaxy in his time being the captain of the Genesis. And as you come in, he goes, I wanted to I wanted to brief you in person on this one and just let you know I really do appreciate all that you've done to this point. Without the heads up of the worms and the eclipse translation of the information, very good job. Zazie was actually very impressed, and quite frankly, I've never seen Zazie impressed with anyone. And he says, but the this eclipse has everyone on edge. I can't think that this is a coincidence that the worms are now emerging. The eclipse is happening. We're going to be moving. And he says, I will personally be taking a unit south to scout for possible locations. Security Officer Lovey will be taking a unit east to scout for possible locations. But there is one thing we need to do before we leave. Zazie has found a signal coming from the planet west of here. I would like you to go investigate what's causing it. Obviously, the inhabitants on this planet do not have such technology, to my knowledge. But if there is technology on this planet, then maybe that is our way off. So
Yes, cultural appropriation.
he just like stops for a minute and then blinks and then just keeps going. He goes, and he goes, the signal just started showing up a few days ago. Also, I don't think it's a coincidence. And it seems to be on some type of loop, but we can't translate it. but I would like you to go and see what you can find at the site. And he like pushes a map with location marked on it for you.
Would it be possible to hear this signal before we depart?
You go, yeah, Zazi's been working on it. It's some type of encrypted code. He says without the source, it's very unlikely that we're going to be able to figure it out. And he says, I can play it for you. But I don't even think the robot will decipher it. And so he'll spin around and come back with like a little data pad, and he'll play it. And it's just static.
But there's like I'm safe to assume that there's some sort of a pattern in there or something that's deliberate, at least.
Yeah, he'll play it for about 30 seconds, and then it'll cut off, and then it'll just kind of start up again. And you can tell that it's the same thing being just said over and over, like on a loop.
Would there be a check to attempt to decipher this right here?
It would be incredibly difficult, but yeah, you could try it.
Well, Reclaimer does think of himself as someone who is very smart, so he'll attempt.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So, what would that check be?
You can give me a technology, or if you want to do slicers, you can do slicers.
I have technology. 16.
All right. So you kind of you go in and you can tell that it's a signal, probably pre the Republic era technology. It's encrypted. The encryption they use is very sophisticated, so you're not able to track that, but you can tell that it's a message, and you'd be able to tell just by kind of the patterns that it's probably a message even in BASIC. Yeah.
In BASIC.
Mm-hmm.
He Reclaimer would relay that right there, and he would turn to his class 3 droid buddy Revelation, who has every registered language on himself. Would it be anything he possibly recognized?
I think it's still encrypted, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's still encrypted, but you can tell by the patterns in it that the sentence structure of it is probably in BASIC.
Got it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I suppose we're going west. How fun.
Yes, we may not be the only ones stranded upon this planet. There may be others, and there may be good sport amongst them. Good to find them out and see if they're hostile or friendly, and bring them into the pack or eliminate them if necessary.
Well,
Cap says, don't eliminate them. That's okay. Just bring them in.
Eliminate?
Only if they're hostile, Captain. No worries. We know the guidelines.
Wink.
Gavin does get a beat wink back over to Reclaimer.
Don't worry.
Reclaimer, did you just say wink out loud?
No. Wink.
But my apologies then. Mop. Well, will Zazie be kind enough to provide us with transport for this adventure to the west?
I will drive.
No.
Yes.
No.
Oh, but don't you agree? There's a certain thrill when Reclaimer drives. A certain fly by the seat of your pants. A certain, I wonder if we'll live through this. It's very exciting.
It would be very dishonorable to die in a speeder crash.
Yeah, I mean...
But how honorable to survive a speeder crash?
Do you really think that the good captain here would want to waste one of his few doctors in a fiery explosion?
You're right. We wouldn't want to waste your skills on driving.
Well, better to be a passenger and die then. Regardless, so yes to the speeder.
So you can tell the captain just like started going back to his papers, and like since you started talking to him, he looks up again. He's like, "Oh, you're still here? Yeah, Alavi, give him the speeder keys." And then he just kind of goes back to his papers, and he'll let you use the same speeder you've been using.
You've made a very correct decision, Captain, my captain.
Who does he give the speeder keys to?
Like Proclaimer's just like with one of his mandibles just
You know what? He just tosses him in the air. Whoever wants to try to snag him out of the air, go ahead and give me a deck save.
Proclaimer will go for a full-on jump. He's not good at it.
I'll make a dex save.
Yeah, I'll throw my hand in the ring here too. Oh.
It's like a bouquet, except it could kill us.
All right, so Caspar, snag him out of the air. You're the lucky one.
Do I? What's the skill for driving?
Piloting.
Piloting.
I have a -1 in that.
But you're really fast.
Give them to me.
Now that I have the keys, how will you fight for my affection to see who may drive?
I have something in my exhibit I've yet to show you.
And I give the keys to the doctor because I want to live.
No, it is a picture of the counselor's father's brothers, nephews, cousins, former roommate. Which isn't impressive, but the fact we've tracked it down to that is.
Davik pats Reclaimer on the back and says, "I'll come to your Griffin Museum when we get back. Just get in the passenger seat."
If it would please you, Reclaimer, I will also join Davik in perusing your exhibits.
Beep.
Beep indeed. All right. Well,
So you guys will kind of know the just looking at the map, you'll get a pretty good sense of what you need to do. So going west, you'll know that there's a rather wide river. The speeder can technically fly over the river, but just understand it could also sink. And you guys would know that the repulsor lifts don't work over water as well. But it would be about a 5-day walk beyond the river. So you could try to take the speeder all the way there, or you could take the speeder to the river and then essentially walk the rest of the way, and then you could ford the river. So that's the choice I'll have the group make. You'll also have to go through what looks like a forest that got mapped out for you. So you'll kind of know that that's the path. You'll have to go over this river through this little bit of forest, and then the signal is kind of tucked into like some mountain cliff area on the far west of the continent you're on. So you guys can do whatever you need to do to get ready, and then let me know when you are ready to go.
Do we know how long the captain's trips would take, or the other two people that are going on scouting expeditions would take?
Yeah, you would know they're kind of on the same boat in that there's rather large rivers, so they'd have to either ford the river somehow or find some type of bridge to take the speeder over, or just go real fast and see what happens. And so they're going to also be on foot. So you'd suspect that they'd be gone for, maybe 10-day round trip, about the same distance that you guys are going. Okay. Assuming that they don't spend extra time looking around. But if they were just their walk there and back, it'd be about 10 days.
Is anybody else having terrifying flashbacks to the Oregon Trail? With trying to ford the river with the
So Caspar's getting dysentery.
I was going to say dysentery is not a thing. Don't worry, guys.
No, that's right. I'm expecting space dysentery. Completely different affliction.
Let me write that down.
Far worse.
Well, I suppose we should be off. Unless
I'm
anybody else
good.
has any fun preparations.
Reclaimer, you're the one that has like I've got constructor's kit. So I can build stuff. DM, can I how long would it take to build like a real shitty bridge to be able to like fly a speeder across?
You would actually kind of know it doesn't need to be sound. It would just need to provide a stable path for the repulsor lift, so it doesn't have to even be like a permanent bridge. So you could kind of do it, but you'd need the materials.
Okay.
And so that's the hardest thing is you'd have to track down the materials, and that would just be a process.
So probably would it save us any time doing that?
Yeah, so we'll say that you could probably do it in a day. If you got help, you could all try to do it in maybe a couple hours.
Okay. Tavik will look to the group and say, we must be the first back and show our standing in the pack. I can build us a bridge if you all lend your talents, as they may be, and help me cut down trees. I can use my tools and we can build I would call it a bridge, I would call it a temporary structure to allow Orcus to fly across.
So you want us to cut timber?
Yes. Doc, I know you're used to mutilating beings, but if you could use your skills to cut a few trees, it would be beneficial to us all.
You know, it's again, I don't know if it's a cultural thing, but I think it's customary to be polite to someone when asking them for help.
No.
Perhaps I was just raised differently then. But sure, by all means, let's cut timber to make our way across. Is everybody in agreement? Sure wish Fours wasn't busy.
Perhaps we don't need timber. Perhaps if all we need is some rather minor footing for the repulsors, perhaps we could simply shoot a crossbow bolt across the canyon, and simply balance our repulsors on it across on a single or a pair of ropes.
Now, while I'm
I
flattered,
would be capable of making that maneuver if I was the one driving.
So you've gotten into your new wine stash. Good job for you, Casper. Good job.
I'm just thinking, I don't particularly enjoy manual labor. Wondering if there's any way we can do this in a less back-breaking way. I am a blue blood.
I would be willing to let Reclaimer try it, because while it may kill us, it will be the most satisfying I told you so before I die. So
I don't disagree.
Me of my life dead.
There's that.
Alternate route. We'll use both ideas together.
That's a sound idea.
Let's start rolling checks to make a bridge.
Yeah, I believe we can discuss this on the way. Yeah, just to get us going. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So the path
Catapult.
out there. Catapult over there.
Catapult. We need a catapult to launch the speeder.
Revelation would walk up and
Please.
just put a hand on his shoulder. Push down your hand.
Just waiting for the visual of this speeder being thrown on like a trebuchet across the river. And then you get to the other side and you're like, yeah.
Repulsors will give us a nice, soft landing as long as we keep going. There's nothing can go wrong.
As long as we took the time to stencil Acme on the side of it, I think we're in business.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
But,
checks.
Just put your seatbelts on. It's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So yep, you can kind of easily drive to the edge of the river. It's pretty flat area. You will someone roll me 2d10 to see if you get out there okay. I won't make you make a piloting check. It's pretty straightforward here.
All right, I'll roll one. Gus, you want to roll the other? Oh, Gus forgot it. All right.
All right. Well, fortunately, you get to drop one of those. So otherwise, that one would bite a little. So, and by the way, you do have 3 inspirations. So I don't know if I had told you that before. All right. So you make it out to the river. You kind of see that it's rather wide. You can try to maybe find like a thinner spot where it's going to be a little slower. Or you can just try to construct something over where it's at, but the water is moving quite rapidly. It's rather deep and rather wide.
Well,
Gus, drive me along the side of the river quickly as you can. I want to find where it is the most kind of shortest path we can build across.
okay. And Gus will do just that at a respectable pace.
All right. Someone go ahead and give me another D10.
I'll pass this time.
I'll go for it.
There you go. Let's see.
Okay.
A 5.
All right.
Hell
So
yeah.
you find a spot that's definitely a little thinner. It's still kind of moving rapidly, but you think you'd be okay as long as you're not as long as the structure doesn't need to hold up that long. And so what we'll just say is you'll need 5 successes. We'll do just a athletics check to see if you can have a success of maybe gathering up the material. And everyone can take a shot, and it'll just be 1 hour per attempt you roll. So you can go in conjunction, obviously. And once you get to 5 successes, then we'll say that you have the materials to cross.
Okay, and this is a
If that
survival
made
check?
sense.
Athletics.
Athletics.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just stick with athletics. That makes more sense to me. And it'll be a DC 12 on that, so not too terrible.
So Topic will give like a whole speech about like I find the best trees with the strongest bark. And I don't know whether it goes in a good bridge, but a strong trees pretty much.
There's
Point of
no
interest, if I can
idea
take down a
what
tree,
you're-
it's not a good one.
All right, I'll roll some athletics. Damn.
All right.
To be fair, Tavik, I think any tree that I can cut down is probably not good enough to be a bridge. So
Wait,
I don't.
potent aptitude is the thing. Can I give
Yeah.
potent aptitude?
Yeah, sure.
I completely forgot this existed. I'll give that to Tavok.
It's like your core feature.
Yes.
All right, do you want to roll the d4?
I'll give you the honor.
All right. Oh, just shy. Just shy.
So close. All right, but you do have 1 success, and everyone can take a free roll, and then that'll be an hour that passed, essentially.
Everybody takes a roll.
Yep.
All right.
You don't have to.
What?
You can sit in the speeder and watch.
Orgus grows very bored.
All right, hey, there you go. The doc
That's
was
still
able
better than
to.
top.
He
Yeah.
manages to find a tree that is mostly already down.
This needs
like
a good
the-
kick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a dead tree that fell over right next to the speeder. From the speeder, you point at it.
You're welcome.
Very, very good, Gus. Very good.
Thank you.
Anybody?
I rolled a die and did things.
Hey.
All right.
Is Reclaimer jumping in?
Oh yeah, that is a thing. He can roll athletics.
You can have your one droid do it. I think the one droid's good at it, isn't it?
No.
Requiem? Or what's the other druid's name?
Revelation.
Revelation. Yeah.
He's good at slicing things up, not so good at the whole. Yeah. Actual Reclaimer has a 0 to athletics, so that's straight roll. He'll give it a shot.
All right.
About
So
as well as you think.
So you find just less than half of the materials for an hour, but you're more than welcome to keep trying.
Gus and Gaspar, very good beginner's luck. You brought some mighty trees for us. Just a little while longer, we should be good to begin constructing our bridge and going after our objective 5 days in advance of when we should be.
I see.
So-
It will take more time. I shall roll again to show that I am helping.
We'll say that. So after about an hour of pretty hard physical labor of trying to get this, you do start to get a little tired. But go ahead and continue. All right. One,
Just
2, 3. You got them all? All right. All right. So yeah, you were able to grab them up and gather all the stuff together. I'm not going to make you make a tool check. I assume that you'll be able to do that. But you did kind of exert yourself. So everyone go ahead and give me a con save, and it'll be a DC 10 plus 1 for every hour. So 12.
Oof.
Oh.
Okay, so that actually is a 12. It just didn't include my +1 from my adaptability routine.
I'm just gonna
okay.
throw this thing out there.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Nice.
Yeah.
Advantage.
The last line.
Nice.
The last line is a relevant one.
Okay, nice. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So anyone who failed it, you do get 1 level of exhaustion, but you have a bridge, and you can take the speeder over on it.
Okay.
At this point, it's probably about midday, so you actually are making fairly decent time still.
Good doctor, if you'd please, I can make sure we get there in record time.
I've already shaved off 5 days, Droid.
I can shave off 5 more.
You
Topic was real confused. He was to guess. Is that possible?
Very. My calculations tell me so, and I have a calculator. I am a calculator.
Topic just got out, Jeff. Okay.
I tell you what, why don't you two play a game of chance when we get there, and you can drive us on the way back if you win. Perhaps we can roll die.
You know, I've actually got something to read. Our visit within the farms last week made me realize how out of touch I was with Rhodian physiology. So by all means, yes, please, if you want to drive, I've got some reading to do.
Reclaimer goes up, plugs himself in, looks at everyone else. I get in. And buckle up.
All right. So the next stretch is going to be a little bit more hazardous. You are traveling through the forest.
Well,
normal speed.
Point of interest. I do have a perk that says difficult terrain doesn't slow our group.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we should be okay.
Yep. Yeah. So as you start to go along, you actually kind of start to see that there is a path that you can kind of run into in the forest. It runs west and then south, so it's kind of strange you're intersecting it from the east. But as you get through, you do find the path, and then the path is going to where you want it to go. The only thing about the path is it looks like it was built by machinery, like it was cleared out of the forest by machinery. But it's very, very old. It's like overgrown, and you can tell that no one has been on it in a long, long time. but there is a path that like cuts through the forest that takes you where you need to go if you'd like to follow it.
Yeah.
I believe we found a lost rebel base, my friends.
Well,
Yeah.
This reminds me. As he's driving, just cruising along, does anyone here have any scary stories they'd like to share? We're going through a spooky forest. Now is the time.
Well, how fast are you driving? That might do it.
No, normal speed, sadly. I rolled a 2.
All right. So you go along about 2 hours, and go ahead and give me 2 more D10s. See if the speeder starts to hold up here.
Go for it, Reclaimer.
All right.
Luckily,
we got that. It's just ones, right?
Just one.
Just
You see Revelation
You
as
need
like
Snake Eyes, so they got close.
Revelation the whole
Um,
time has had the fire extinguisher up, and the moment the Reclaimer starts smoking, he immediately just lets it loose.
Yeah.
No chances.
Yeah, Tavik's talons are like ripping through like the upholstery as he's hanging off for dear life.
Yeah,
I do
so
not have a scary story. I do not have a scary story to tell, but Caspar might, so I'm going to do a performance check for him.
he has like a really like you guys are genuinely like freaked out. Like you're going through and you're like looking at like you think there's ghosts in the woods now.
And it's true. It's all true.
By
This really
God.
happened in a place a lot like this. In fact, the scary thing has been known to traverse worlds in places like this.
I have nothing on the sort on my databases, but I am shaking in my wheels.
Good God, Caspar. What did your family do to you? What stories did they tell you as a boy?
Our friendship levels must grow before I can share such histories. Currently, we're at level 1. We need to reach level 3 or 5 before we can start really telling that kind of information and backstory.
Random gifts of like flowers and trout. What?
Yeah.
Like I don't.
You must sing a song every day.
Is that a human?
We are now entering the dating sim part of Star Wars 5e.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this is the campaign Keith wanted to run. 100%.
This is what happens when our chaperone leaves.
Force.
All right. So you're traveling for a couple hours. You do come up to kind of the end of the road. You'll notice it gets pretty thin as you're getting through these cliffs. Unfortunately, you're not able to take the speeder through, but you actually know you're quite close. You could probably still make it there before it gets dark. Maybe a 2 or 3 hour walk on foot beyond where you're at. But you've now shaved about 4.5 days off of your travel time.
Well, Reclaimer, I think I speak for the rest of the group when I say thank you for not killing us.
You're welcome. Also, I drove safely this time.
And we all appreciate it, Droid.
Thoroughly. The safer you drive, the more often we'll visit that museum of yours. And ooh and ah at the times of yesteryear.
Yes. This actually reminds me of one of the exhibits I have, and that scary story thing I brought up earlier. Though I doubt it can top his, like, shakily pointing.
Yeah, so Tavik's tail is just kind of like fluttering nervously. And he goes, "No more stories, Droid. It is time for action." As he kind of looks around nervously at the forest surrounding him.
Oh
please.
no, this one will terrify you.
After that last tale, I'm kind of hoping for the worms.
It would be a good death compared to that.
Truly.
All right. So you guys want to proceed on foot the rest of the way?
I think so. So we have to climb, right?
Nope. It's actually like a path that kind of goes through the canyons.
Okay.
You could probably get it's wide enough that you could probably get like a speeder bike or something through. But you wouldn't be able to get the speeder that you have currently through. But it is like a path that goes into the canyon. You wouldn't have to climb at all. And so as you kind of progress on foot, you're walking for about a half hour through this, and it does open up again. And you actually notice you come upon like a camp in the distance. So you probably notice it maybe about 100 or 150 foot out. So you're still out of the camp, but you do see that there's maybe like a couple of tents.
Topic will kind of hunch low and look over to the group. There's a camp ahead. I see smoke. I see tents. The captain seemed to want us to be diplomatic, but how should we proceed?
Usually we kind of would just follow Forz's lead. We're really feeling his absence.
All I will say is no one can report your war crimes if there are no one to report your war crimes.
We must give these people a chance to say their piece. But we should always be prepared in case they are prey and need to be dealt with.
Revelation, we need to talk about subtlety. Sometimes you can talk about committing war crimes without using the phrase war crimes. And
It does.
and sometimes people don't. And when you do that, it can result in your friends not going, "Oh Lord, he's talking about murdering everyone." Sometimes there are softer ways to cull the herd.
Subtlety leads to assuming. Assuming leads to people making an ass of themselves.
But
I take that in kind.
well,
do not worry. I do not think you're subtle. Pat on your knee.
I mean, Tavik, you mentioned tents, but do you see any sort of, being, sentience, anything of the sort?
Tavik will kind of take another look, and I cheaped out. I did not buy the. I was like, did I buy? I thought about buying macro binoculars, but it was like it was expensive, so I didn't buy it. He's gonna try to strain his eyes and see if he sees any people over there.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a perception check.
All right.
Can I roll a squint check?
See how much
Nice.
damage you do to your eyes. Oh, nice.
Good squint.
Yeah. So I guess as you approach, were you guys trying to be kind of stealthy and hidden, or were you kind of just walking through?
So
Tavik
I
would definitely advocate for stealth. Yeah.
I would point out that one of the things that a scout allows me to do is that we can move. Or where is it?
Move stealthily at normal
Yeah.
speed?
Yeah, we can move stealthily at a normal pace. So I don't think there's any reason we wouldn't have been trying to be quiet.
Yeah. So everyone give me a stealth check. This will be a group check. So
Starting off strong.
there we go.
Good,
Following
you
up
have
with
a
middling.
I usually
I'm
have
just gonna
terrible
go
luck
ahead
as a
and throw a
player. for some
perception
reason.
check in there too. Really?
How
A
does those...
natural one perception stout for stealth? I'm supposed to be good at that.
Well,
Yeah. So
thank
as you
goodness
guys
for
kind of-
Reclaimer.
yeah, that's everyone, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Yeah. So you kind of know that you're being pretty quiet, and you're coming up on this camp. And as you're peering in, they definitely didn't hear or see you coming right away, but you see what looks to be kind of that same looking creature, a Shalbot, kind of running away from the camp. They kind of point at you, and then they peace out. So you'd be able to detect that with your perception check, and so with a 24 check, you would see that you don't see anyone else, but there's like a campfire going. You can tell this camp is like inhabited. But you also kind of see that once you kind of get close, they peace out on you.
You know, in some cultures, pointing is a sign of aggression.
They fled like prey, but they're not worthy prey. We should find them. And he looks kind of for the spot 4 is usually to be. Somebody more diplomatic should speak with them at first and see what they think, and if they become prey or become hostile, we move from there. But they're little and they run, not worthy hunts.
Do we share a language with these people? I don't know that I
don't
know their
think
language, so I'm not sure how we would go about communicating.
This is a species that you've never met in the galaxy. They resemble a Bothan, but that's just because you don't know what they are, so you just say something, right? So they look like a Bothan, but you know their anatomy isn't the same, and you don't know what their culture or their heritage or their language is.
Are they shorter than a Bothan, or did I just make that up?
They're actually a little bit taller.
Oh, okay. I made that up.
Yeah. So like a Bothan is kind of a shorter, they're still like medium size or whatever, but they're definitely like shorter. These would be more like human size, like 5 to 6 foot tall.
The tents that we've come across that are now empty, do they look modern at all, or are these like roughly made? They're primitive materials.
With a 24 perception check, I'll say that they look primitive. Even pretty far away, you'd be able to tell they look primitive. But are you guys approaching the camp then? Is that what you'd like to do?
Following Tavik's lead, because the good doc's out of his element.
I can't think of a good reason to try and interact with them unless we share a language. I mean, if we want to try and create that, we can, but...
You all forget. Revelation is a class 3 droid. If the language was registered, he'd know it. If it is not, well, no harm, no foul.
Unless, of course, we run afoul of them and they harm us. But
yeah, so
they wouldn't exist anymore. So,
I guess just one more bit of information that you'd know is you can't get to where you want to go without passing through that camp, and you'd actually almost think that maybe it was set up that way.
Okay. Well, I say we should go into the camp, see if we could learn anything about these people. We've not encountered any live ones before. And maybe if we could track down one peacefully, he looks over to Reclaimer, we may learn something from them.
I'm not allowed to keep living creatures in my museum. That would make it a zoo.
Well, that's a conversation for another day, Reclaimer.
Yeah.
A conversation I look forward to, by the way. and I feel a zoo is not a terrible idea.
Zoos are immoral. At least what I use is already dead.
I do believe you lose the morality argument if you go out of your way to kill it to put it in your museum, though.
All museums do this.
Granted, yours is the first of museum I've seen in a very long time, so maybe. I'm not the museum expert, not at all, not my field.
Reclaimer, we can discuss your war crimes exhibit later.
Do not worry, it is not a specific exhibit.
Because we start calling them something else, like war whoopsies or something. Well,
I like the word kerfuffle, personally. Oh no, it looks like we've gone and kerfuffled your entire economy. Oops.
That happened 3 times during the Republic.
a wealth of knowledge. Well, I suppose we should move onward, see what the camp holds in store for us.
Yep. Tavik would kind of lead into the camp and see. You kind of examine like their structures and kind of see like if they've left anything behind, and see if there's, and definitely check to see if there's anybody that was left behind too.
Yeah. So as you approach the camp, I'll let you keep your 24 there. You don't see anyone. You see kind of off to the south a little bit, there's actually like a trail that kind of leads up into the cliffs a little. You can kind of guess that that's where they went. You don't see them anymore. You would suspect that they know this terrain very well. They're able to move very rapidly through it. Otherwise might be challenging for people who don't know. But you take a look at the tents. They're actually set up pretty orderly. Like the camp just has like a certain, I wouldn't call like regiment to it, but a certain orderliness to it, where you suspect these people are rather like disciplined in their lifestyle and why they're here. And they do. You can actually see like a couple lookout posts. Like they were here probably for the purpose of seeing if anyone comes through. But the tents themselves are very primitive. The tools you'll find, they actually left like some pots and pans and stuff like that along. There's maybe a little bit of food on the cooking fire that they're like some kind of stew that they've got going on. They kind of left it in a hurry. They just kind of pieced out. But yeah, you find some primitive tools. You'd even find maybe some like weaponry. You can notice that there's like a spear on the ground, very like all very primitive from like a primitive civilization. But outside of that, you don't notice anything necessarily out of place.
Do we see any of the people that are running off having like holding like the spears or the primitive weapons?
You would have seen they were armed when they were running, but at this point, you don't kind of see anyone.
Reclaimer bringing one of the spears to Topic. Topic analysis.
Point of interest. I don't think we should linger here long. They clearly evacuated out of fear of us. I think we should move through here as quickly as possible so they can come back and live on their own. I'd like to leave this undisturbed. Or we can leave something behind to show that we're not hostile, but I would like to leave this place undisturbed as quickly as we can.
But this tent would make a fine addition to my collection.
Tavik nods towards Gaspar. He goes, "That's a good idea." And in my culture, the barbells, if you want to make friends with an unknown people, you leave behind meat to show that you're here to help their clan. Maybe we can leave behind some meat or something to show that we're friends and not foes, and leave their tents behind, Reclaimer.
I believe that would be a good idea, but perhaps on our way back, since I don't believe we have any fresh kills with us or hunting with us at the moment.
Or
yeah, I mean, you could leave. You have like rations and that kind of stuff with you.
Do we still need more of that one thing that we killed that we took a lot of the meat from? What did we kill? The
Oh yeah, the big.
It's been like a week ago, though, right?
Yeah, maybe 2 or 3 days. So, how did you preserve that? What did you do? Would you have done something to kind of make it last?
who took that one down? I think that was Gaspar. So yeah, Gaspar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably would have just distributed it to the villagers so that they could all kind of enjoy meat rather than trying to keep it for just a few of us.
Yeah, we'll say that you did some type of maybe like salting or something, and it would have preserved for a few days, and you would give it to the villagers as a gift. So, no, you wouldn't have any of that left on you.
But we can always, there's like we're in the expanse, the wild nature. There will be things for us to kill, and we can bring that back for them.
on the stew or food that they have, like that they left behind, is there any meat present?
That's a good question.
Yeah, they would, and actually, the kind of the cliffs you're in right now, you would know that there's not necessarily like a lot of wildlife. Like, you might be able to catch like snakes or lizards or something small.
Yeah.
Maybe if you go up into the cliffs, you might find something, but you'd know that you haven't necessarily seen signs of any like wild game. But in the forest you pass through, there would have been it would have been rather plentiful. Like it would have been relatively easy for you to probably find something. But the kind of the stew, you would kind of know that the meat used for that stew wouldn't necessarily be from the cliffs. It would probably be from like the forest region.
My concern was that like they're vegetarians, and then we leave the meat, and they view it as a threat or something.
It's a really good question.
I'm
Sorry,
very
I
glad you thought
I
of
gave a
that.
very detailed explanation of that then.
Daphne was behind a bloody corpse. They were sort of the best.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
Maybe now they'll be our friends. You know,
You know, and of course, I wouldn't just leave leave the bloody corpse. Like I would try and leave a proper gift. So it'd be flayed. There'd be like the skins would be there. Like
God,
try
can
to
you
make some
imagine?
kind of a leather out of it. Like I'd really go all out to try and make this gift, and it would not be received in the way it was intended.
Look at what they did to our dog.
These animals are sacred. These
Fluffy ran away a week ago, and here he is. Why?
Well, thankfully they are not vegetarians, so
perfect.
You
So,
I mean, there's still the chance we could. You know what? That's another question. Are there any animals that it looks like they keep? You know, like as pets or friends or anything? You know, something they wouldn't necessarily want to eat.
You would notice that there's like some tracks on the ground of some type of animal, but you wouldn't. It would probably be very hard for you to tell those tracks. To be honest, anything more just because of the it's a hard ground, it's a hard surface, so there's not like great impressions. But you kind of know that like maybe there's like a wall of water or something like that you would know that would be used for some type of pet.
Yourself, don't accidentally kill Fluffy.
you could always tell domesticated animals from real prey. But I fear we should press on, or either go towards our objective, or try to hunt down, or not hunt down, go see the villagers that have fled and try to make peace with them.
But I mean, is our objective or the source of the signal in that same direction?
Oh, that's a good question.
No, so there's actually kind of branches off to the south and the north. The south kind of dead ends, but there's like this path up into the canyons. If you go up to the north, you would know that's where you would assume that would be the way to where the signal is.
Well, I mean, this is presumably the closest anyone has ever gotten to the natives in this planet.
We
I
are already
feel-
5 days
That's-
ahead.
That's not true. We found some dead ones. We were much closer to them.
Well, let me rephrase that. The closest we've come to meeting them and having an exchange of thoughts and ideas instead of finding their corpses, which I regret not getting more samples of. I mean, I don't know what that chest bursting thing was. I imagine, well, sorry, semantics. I'm lost in thought. Maybe we should go speak with them. Maybe they would know more about this thing that afflicted their lost brethren. Are we in agreement? Is there dissent? Please.
Let's just speak with them. We can learn more about this lunar cycle and maybe these worms that have plagued us. We're already ahead of schedule, so if we waste a day, we're still going to beat them back and be the first among the pack to come back.
Perfect. Caspar, thoughts, concerns, doubts?
If we're going to go check in with them, I'd like to bring a gift. So I would suggest we go hunting first, and then we can go and try and create a dialogue. Reclaimer, you said you know every language that exists.
No.
How are you at
That would
deciphering
be a
new languages?
revelation.
Revelation. I'm sorry. I am never going to keep that straight, and I apologize.
I
In
have a skull
perpetuity.
for a face. He has skin. Many
Yes.
skin.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So
They are both.
I thought one was the astromech and one was like the Terminator. Does one
Yeah,
have skin for a face?
No. Reclaimer is an astronaut.
God, is it just a ball of
Revelation-
skin?
No. Revelation is basically. Do you know a flare Necron? What they look like? That's how I imagine he looks.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So you skinned someone and dried it.
It's just
But mostly animal skins. Mostly. Don't look too far underneath the capes.
hopefully it's nobody you recognize.
that is So unsettling.
Ah, yes, this reminds me. That scary story I meant to tell you. No, let's save it for another time.
Perhaps somewhere where we are safe and well lit, and not with the tale that Caspar provided us fresh in our memories.
It would be treason to tell a good story like that in the daylight.
Oh, maybe you can just shut the lights off. Either way. So you suggest we go hunting. Reclaimer, any thoughts, suggestions concerning the first contact between us and the inhabitants of this planet?
I am weighing our options on deforestation for the future of this colony. These are primitives. They likely view nature with some bit of sanctity. However, for the sake of the colony, expansion will eventually come to here due to its natural location being close to water and much lumber. Friction will arise eventually, but that may be years from now or months, depending on this eclipse, or never at all if worse things awaken.
Well,
In the long term, I find these things a threat.
think immediate term, like the group that just ran away from us.
That could be our friends. I
Yeah.
agree with Caspar. We should hunt, and he kind of like fixes his eyes on past Caspar with a little bit of like determination. Let's make it a competition again. I know you bested me the last time, but this time I will come through victorious. Or you may win again. Who knows? With your blue blood and city slicker ways.
I mean,
I do
Well?
roll with advantage on survival checks, so I do believe that I shall give you a head start, just to keep it fair.
Wow. Wow.
You see Tavik, like he's like his scales like flex, his tail kind of starts thumping on the ground. He drops his blaster, says, I will hunt without any technological implements to make this fair.
Okay, you do you, my friend.
well,
And Caspar heads into the woods with his rifle on his back.
So you guys gonna kind of go back out of the canyons, back to where like the speeders parked at? Then that's where you like to get back to the woods or whatever.
Yeah, probably,
What's the?
give some
I would say,
space.
what's the neighboring area look like? I wouldn't really want to go down the canyon if I didn't have to.
Yeah, you're kind of up in the canyon, so it would be. I mean, it's possible. But if you were to get up really into kind of the mountain area, maybe you find some type of cat or goat or some creature of that nature. It'd be far easier if you were to go back out to the woods. So that's kind of your choice. But it would be closer, obviously, to go up into the mountains. So
Yeah, I'll go for the mountains.
all right.
I want to challenge myself.
All right. So you will have disadvantage on the roll, but you'd normally have advantage. So it would just be a straight survival check.
Okay.
Right. So you don't find anything great, but you do manage to kind of snag what would be maybe considered the size of like a pygmy goat. So you do kind of see it jumping up on the rocks, and you're able to snipe it with your blaster.
So how like is Caspar like clearly going towards the mountains, or is he like maneuvering through? Would Tavik see this? Is what I'm asking.
Yeah, he would have to
wouldn't be
kind of go up
stealthing.
and,
At least not at first.
Yeah. Tavik would have initially been heading to the forest like a smart hunter, but after Caspar dropped the gauntlet, he's going to try to go in the mountains too and snag something better. So disadvantage. Shit, 22.
Yeah, so you kind of whiff out. You kind of see that same the same like pygmy goat, kind of a herd of them, and you go to jump on it without your implements, and it kind of gets away. It kind of jumps up into the rocks and sneaks up it back into the cliffs. But go ahead and both of you give me a perception check.
Oh, this is going to go well.
Oof.
So Casper, as you're kind of going and maybe I don't know if you clean the goat there or you're kind of last one up to take with you, you kind of turn around and you start to see smoke up on kind of the opposite side, and so you kind of went up kind of on the north bank, but up on the south bank where you had seen them kind of flee to, you see smoke, and it's not from a fire. It's from clearly they're doing like a signal fire to kind of announce or let something know in the area.
Could I do a survival check to try and like read what kind of signal they're trying to send out?
You wouldn't need to. It's just gray smoke, and so you would just kind of assume that they were kind of this whole scenario playing out. You would know that they were there waiting. Once they saw you, they ran away and they set off the signal smoke. So you would assume that it was to announce your presence to someone else that's not there.
Okay. Well, I would have taken the pygmy goat down to their camp and pull out a knife and just start working it in their camp so that like if they came back they'd see me just, doing things that aren't crazy or out of maybe I should just make this like a persuasion check to be like to express my
Yeah.
intentions, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So if they were to come back and kind of see you, they would probably not see you as necessarily like hostile. In their camp, cutting up a goat with a knife.
Yes.
But with the other two, would you guys like to do anything while they're off on their hunt?
Huh. Just Reclaimer would just be standing there awkwardly. Kind of cough into his hands, despite the fact he's a droid.
Just saying cough.
No, just like full on hacking.
Oh,
Can
But-
droids cough?
can droids cough? I feel like there'd need to be some sort of pull in of air, or I'm overthinking this. I don't know.
If they have speakers, they can cough.
I mean,
Just
yeah.
make a
he'll turn
coughing
over
noise.
to you. He'll turn over to you and just like
They if they have an exhaust port, they can, they can cough.
Alright.
He'll turn his head to you and say, "So, you install cybernetics, yes?"
Well, if you hear Tavik describe it, apparently I butcher cybernetics, but yes, I do.
Yes. And you do surgery, yes?
I certainly do.
Have you ever thought of transplanting flesh onto metal rather than metal onto flesh?
Well, I suppose with the way the galaxy is presently, flesh would be easier to come by than well-working metal.
Oh, yes, it is.
I'm sorry, why do you ask?
Head turns to look at the horizon. Just a good silence for a while. I have considered getting legs.
Oh, Oh, God.
These wheels have failed me many a times before.
I mean, not that I'm
Human
one.
legs.
Oh, okay. I mean, because we can just try to fashion some legs out of bits of machinery,
No,
Or
it must be flesh. I don't have a problem. You have a problem.
I'm not in the room, and that's good.
well,
Just like I flare from the skull he has attached to his quote-unquote face.
Well, if there is a way to do the reverse of sending electromagnet, the thing is, how would you keep the flesh alive? Because you don't have a. And he kind of just starts going on and on into the intricacies of why it probably wouldn't work. Because you don't have a functioning circulatory system to feed the limbs the blood that it needs to do what it needs to do.
That is where you are wrong. I am a genius. And as such, to keep myself alive, I've done many modifications to myself. I have a rudimentary circulation system for coolant and electricity.
Well, okay, but now you see, and then he'll start like drawing on the ground, like now most carbon-based life forms at least, blah blah blah. He's just going on and on, like he's giving a lecture almost. Like he's into this. He's like, great, I get to talk. Hell yeah, I love my voice.
So it just be a debate between the two of them, just like, yes, this and this, but no, this and this, but this.
But coolant is not blood.
It can be.
In a metaphorical sense, sure, but it doesn't provide the
blood transports oxygen. It would simply take a few tweaks of chemicals.
Okay, so whenever you guys are ready to bust back in, by the way,
no, please continue. I think it is quite narrow-minded to run under the assumption that blood can only be one kind of blood. There are countless different species out there, some of which have red blood and blue blood and green blood, and there are lots of different kinds of systems. Why can't this droid have a biological machine incorporated
when
into
did
itself?
You get there?
I just assumed at some point the team would have to get. I walked in. Sue me.
You heard nothing. Kind of just goes to erase like what was been drawn. You saw nothing about legs or flesh.
I could just see him like going like rubbing out the dirt like that we were drawing it out on. Like no, there was nothing here.
Gus, this is a natural even by your standards.
I have to lay this scene out. I have to lay this scene out as I understand it. So the two hunters go and hunt. You guys are in. You don't really know if it's dangerous territory, but you get so caught up in your conversation that you don't even see the other two return. You're just completely oblivious to everything around you.
Negative wisdom score.
Revelation is like standing guard this whole time, and he's just watching this, just shaking his head, all the while not realizing the fact he is kind of scratching at his multitude of skins he's wearing.
Well,
For the irony.
Well, again, skin's a skin. Well, anyway.
Right. Well, so it's getting kind of close to evening time. You don't see any the inhabitants, whoever's this camp, haven't come back. You haven't seen any sign of them besides that you had seen them leave and you had seen the smoke. There's probably still time if you wanted to try to make it to wherever the signal was, or if you wanted to set camp right here at the camp. The group could do either one. But there is, the day is kind of running out by this point.
Oh, so we can still make it to the signal for this day?
Yeah, you're only like an hour away.
Oh, yes, I would press on if everybody agrees.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I leave my gift of flesh behind and hope that it's not one of their dogs.
Well, fingers crossed.
Yeah, so kind of as you're going up, you start to notice the ground gets kind of rocky. And you would think that it's kind of a strange location for this because it's not easy to get to, especially kind of seeing the road and stuff. You'd think that like vehicles wouldn't really be able to get up to there. But by the time you get to the signal, you are on like bedrock, definitely like a solid bedrock surface. But as you approach, you do see this building up on top of kind of the edge of these cliffs over here. And it obviously is very old. It hasn't seen anyone in it for a very long time. You notice it's kind of a dome shape. a medium-sized building. It would probably fit right into like maybe an outpost in the outer rims, probably before the collapse, with kind of Republic technology. But the front doors are kind of hanging off, like they got busted open, and they haven't kind of had anyone there for a very, very long time. So it's kind of like dilapidated, but you're welcome to kind of go into the building, or if you want to look around a little bit more.
This being Republic technology, you said that, right? This is like Republic stuff?
Yeah, you would kind of recognize it as like a Republic era building.
Taking the door. He's taking the door.
Taking the door.
Yeah, so
Taking the door.
it's like, yeah, you would see that the door has been clearly like smashed in. Not only is it just old, like it's started to like rust, and obviously there's been like some type of abrasion, and the weather has gotten to it, but you can clearly see that the door was hit by something with extreme force that dented it in. That's how they got opened.
Taking the door.
It's
All
a
right,
big
so you
door.
have
It's like-
a rusty, yeah, so it's like a double door. So it's substantial. We'll figure out how you're going to carry that later, I suppose. Yeah, so you now have a rusted, say, 300-pound Durasteel door.
Time
And are
push
you
this door. It's
taking
so-
this door as we explore the facility? Like, are you taking the door inside, or are you just leaving it outside, as I assume a rational living creature would, but I never know with you?
Normally, I would go with, like, part of me wants to go with yes, he'd take it with him, but I also know there is logic to Reclaimer. It's there somewhere, and he knows, like, no one's going to steal this. And if they do, they've made a mortal enemy.
It's going in the museum.
It's going.
Now-
It belongs in the
Belongs in
museum.
a museum.
Just to be clear, you said that they were dented inward. So was it a force from the outside going in, or a force? It was okay.
Yeah, I'll get. You don't need a check for that. I'll give you. That would be pretty obvious that the doors were caved inward.
If it was
Mm.
something from the inside, then there's no way we'd go in there.
Well, I mean, either way, it's
Tavik's
kind of
still
spooky.
Fair enough.
Yeah. You know what? Negative wisdom store. Oh boy, a building. Wow, that's interesting.
Negative intelligence. Follow suit.
Native intelligence and charisma. Going right in. This is a big praying hunt. This is a big prayer.
Ooh, big stabby.
Batshit crazy droid.
Yeah.
All right, so
boy.
you're going
I'm
inside the building?
excited.
All right, we're going in.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Unless somebody wants to be up front, Tavik will be up front. And
Okay.
okay.
Yeah. So
I would
what's kind of
probably
the order?
I'd probably be right up there next to you,
All right.
just because I'm accustomed to scouting and being up front, roguing, as it were.
Yeah, so as you kind of walk in, so Tavik would kind of see this first. It kind of opens up into a hallway, like almost like you'd expect in like an entryway, with what it would be like a security desk there, you would assume, or some type of like if not a security desk, it would be like a welcome desk. It's the materials are definitely like weathered, but you can kind of so vaguely see. There's a door kind of on your left that you can kind of go through. It's open too. It would have had the same thing. You can actually see that door kind of got busted into also, so it would be like hanging on its hinges, but it would be open. And as you kind of proceed through that door, you'll actually kind of see 3 areas in the building. And so one is going to be almost like a living quarter. And inside, you're going to see kind of like built-in bunk beds into the walls. The bedding material itself is all decayed. No one has been there for a very long time, but you can still see some of the personal belongings kind of thrown around on the ground. You would find what looks like some type of lab. And inside you would find some what they would be like maybe tubes that would like testing tubes that would contain maybe you could use to put some type of like creature person in, say, like stasis. Many of the tubes are kind of broken. And then the third place in there you'll find is a command center of sorts, and you can tell that's probably where like the terminal is, where you might guess the signal's coming from. So I guess where does the group kind of want to start?
Well, Tavik's always single-minded, so he'll go to Reclaimer and go, "Droid, plug yourself into the terminal and see what you find."
Yes. I hope there are no viruses in this thing, or that it's desiccated to the point where plugging in would corrupt my data.
Don't corrupt your data, but the Republic, we have not seen any Republic implements in a long time. It's weird they've been here before. Hopefully you can find something that will shed some light on this.
Yes. Oh, yes. Made ours beyond my comprehension. He'll plug himself in.
Yeah. So you'll notice that the building doesn't have power except for this one terminal that you would assume that the signal's coming from. It must have some type of internal power source that is still running. And you find kind of two things. One, you easily find that there's the message, but it's encoded. So you can try at this point if you wanted to, either a technology or a slicer's check to get the message. But the other thing you find is actually a map, and it's a digital map in the terminal. And it's a map of the world in a little bit more detail, and specifically, it has two things on the map. One in the south, you'll find if you were to look at, actually, I can just show you. Let me move you to the map so you can kind of see. So this is kind of the world map, if you guys haven't seen it yet. But kind of down here in the south in this desert, you'll see a spot that's marked Research Lab. And then up over in these mountains, you'll actually find something that's marked HQ. To copy the message and then take it back, and when you have time, try to decode it further and find out what the message says.
Reclaimer's gonna actually say, this place can be of great strategic value, though it is some ways away from the ship. If a true bridge is made to cross the gap of the river, and this place's power restored, as well as taking back this apparent HQ, then we could have a good stranglehold on the land.
Well, more important than that, if they have an HQ, if they're dead, alive, who knows? They may have ships. They may have parts. They may have a way off this planet.
Could I take a look at that message? Let me just, if you don't mind, I just take a quick...
Yes. Yeah. Here you go.
Slicers or technology. Yeah.
Away it goes.
Nice.
So you easily decode it, and it is a message that it's played. It's in BASIC, and it's just on a loop, and all it says is eclipse event started, prepare for evacuation, all non-essential personnel are to immediately exit the planet. And then it just plays that in like a loop, like almost like elevator music, like chime to it, but it's just playing.
Do we hear that, all of us?
If you were to play it, then for everyone you would, but you would not hear the signal itself. It's not like a alarm blaring. It's just like an electronic signal that's getting sent out.
He will make whatever adjustments he has to make on the console, and then with a very satisfied, smug, bit of grandeur, he will then hit the button and let it play.
This is not good. It seems
that's very bad.
But I figured it out. I realized how unimportant that might be.
Congratulations, Doctor. That was very important.
Thank you.
Is there anything indicating the nature of why they had to evacuate.
You wouldn't have it on the message. That's all the message said.
Oh, does anybody? So
I
I
mean,
remember that picture we saw with the eclipse first session. What was on that picture? Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah, so there was 3 images, and you would remember, so I'll just tell you. So the first one was like of a family sitting around a campfire, just relaxing, having fun, maybe singing, dancing. The second one was of the family like packing up, get ready to go. And the third one, the sky was blacked out, and there were like flying demons in the skies, and the demons themselves wouldn't. They wouldn't actually be like something you would recognize. It would be like from a children's story. If a children was to write something scary and they draw like a ghost or draw like a demon with wings or something, it isn't like an actual. You would tell that it isn't like something that they've seen.
it's a mythical thing, is what
Yeah.
we're saying. It's not something that we would actually tie to an existing creature.
I just remember the movie. Oh, we are not. Oh, we are screwed.
So I say we should try to find this HQ and see if we can figure out if there's still any that have maybe not seen the signal or left anything good behind. But I fear this eclipse may bring some monsters, and monsters that the Republic either knows about or that the Republic has set loose that have terrorized this planet.
Is there any more information that we can glean off of this terminal, or is it just the message on repeat?
It's just that message and repeat. There are other terminals, but there's no power to them. So you could try to extract the data sources themselves, or you could look in the other rooms.
Would using a power cell for a blaster be sufficient to power on a terminal temporarily?
You could try. You would definitely risk damaging either the power cell or the terminal. But that is something you could attempt.
Well, perhaps we should just gather up what we can and go see it somewhere safer. Let's gather up what data we can from these terminals. I'm sure we can get some more information about this impending threat that we have 59 days to go now.
Well, this particular facility. I mean, it has a source of power, doesn't it? It's just been turned off. Could we reactivate it, or?
Yeah. And actually, so I just realized it's a little after 8, so we've been kind of going for about an hour and a half. So I figure we'll take a couple-minute break.
Sweet, yeah.
Is that okay with everyone?
Works for me.
All right. So we'll come back at quarter after.
Sounds good. I'll fetch my beers or my
All
drink,
right.
so it works for me.
I know. I got to get another one.
Oh, party hunt. Ooh.
See everybody in a bit.
All right.
All right, welcome back from the
Myself.
break, everybody. Quick plug before I turn it back over to Keith. Join me tomorrow. What's it, the 27th of July for the One Ring RPG. We're running the Strider mode for the game, so it's gonna be a solo play. So it's gonna be just me, myself, and I on this one. So come through. I'm slightly nervous, but I've never run a solo RPG before, especially not even stream. So come hang out. It should be hopefully fun. You get to kind of mess around with the system, get some Lord of the Rings on, and you may have a chance to win a PDF of the system too. So check it out. Check out our YouTube if you haven't seen it too. And we've done a couple videos on the system so far. And hang out, but I'm going to be quiet and shift over to Keith.
Nice. Well, I will definitely be trying to jump in chat tomorrow. So keep you company.
I will appreciate that because I'm really nervous about that.
All right. So everyone jump on chat. Say hi tomorrow. Let him know he's not alone. All right. But I guess back to our game here. So just kind of a recap. You found the base. There's 3 areas in there. There's the command center, which you guys have started to go through a little bit. There's what appears to be a lab and what appears to be a living quarters or like a place where a living quarters. And so kind of what does the group want to do?
I would like to go to the living quarters and see if I can get 4 of them together to make a whole.
What?
I don't get that.
I don't get that either.
Yeah.
I think I'm slow
No,
today.
I
I think I'm
don't.
slow.
Quarters.
Oh, all right.
Quarters.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'd like to go to the living hole.
the living dollar.
Yeah,
I'm
Argus
sorry.
wants to go.
I couldn't help it. I've been thinking about that ever since you said quarters, like half an hour ago.
I know you were really on that. You were excited.
It took me longer than actually. I had to be pointed out, so I'm not proud of this at all.
Don't worry, it's just recorded for forever.
Yeah,
That's it. To be fair, yeah, I've been enjoying beer, so don't feel too bad.
Man, I have no excuse.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let's get back to it. I actually did want to. Caspar would go over to the I want to say you said there was like a testing area with like
Yeah, so
tubes
there's like
of
a
things.
lab.
I got a very ominous feel from that, and I wanted to direct that to Fours because I thought there was not Fours, to the doctor and be like, I feel like this will learn more from than the database. If we just look at this, maybe we can figure a few things out.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. What's this?
Yeah, so you'll kind of notice a few things as you kind of go in there. One, there's like all these tubes that kind of are along the back row. Many of them are broken. Some of them are intact. They've like a fluid inside. You can't necessarily tell what it would be for. You would have maybe seen or heard about this. It would, especially with a medical background, you could probably use them for some type of stasis or to keep some type of subject alive inside of them. Several of them are broken though, and are kind of empty, and the glass, it's like a plexiglass, like a safety glass, would kind of be shattered and on the ground around them. But you also kind of notice there is like a couple more like terminals in here that you would assume are for maybe logging or doing whatever medical research that they're doing in here.
And just for my own personal clarification, when you say tubes, how big are we talking?
Yeah, like human size. Like you could put a person in there.
Wow.
Like they're rather large.
Okay, because I heard tube, but I'm thinking something narrow. Like, okay, so like the back to tank from Empire, like that size.
Yeah.
And they're busted open. You say
Several of them are like smashed. Yeah.
Eesh,
Glass on
okay.
the inside, glass on the outside.
You know, go ahead and give me
Perception check.
maybe perception or investigation.
I can do one of those pretty well.
I'll do perception. That
Sure. So I'll give that to you. So 18. Yeah, you would kind of know that something probably smashed them from the outside. Just kind of the way everything is laid about. It didn't something probably didn't break out. You don't necessarily know what caused it, if it was like someone hitting it with a bat or whatever, but you would know that it got broken from the outside.
So And you said that there are some of these that are intact.
Some are intact, yeah.
Do they have any contents besides fluid within them?
Mm-mm.
Mm.
Hold on just a second.
Okay, so what are we thinking this could
Yep.
be?
Apologize about that. Yeah, there's nothing inside the tanks besides this like fluid. The ones that are intact, anyways.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll know more later. Orgus is going to try to gather up whatever data he can from the terminals to peruse them at a more stable location later on.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're just looking to just make sure the data stays intact, but you don't care about the terminal, you could easily cut it out. But if you wanted to try to be a little more precise to not damage it, because the data, I guess, like I think the data tubes, I think is what Star Wars uses, is kind of integrated with it. So you could easily abstract it if you don't care about damage it. But if you wanted to kind of be precise, you'd have to either do probably a technology check, or I'd even give you a sleight of hand check. Nice. All right. So yeah, you're expertly able to. You have done this before. You're able to remove the data tubes without damaging the terminals at all.
Okay, I will be looking at these later. And is there anything else of note besides the big old tubes and various states of repair in that room?
No, they wouldn't be able to. There's nothing else that really outside of the norm.
Well,
Did we look at the living quarters already? I know we
You have
talked
not
about that.
looked through the living hole.
I know we had a whole quarter discussion, but I don't know if we looked actually.
Oh,
No,
yeah, I
I-
haven't gone in there yet.
No, but that is on the list of things that we need to check out because I want some loot.
Here I was thinking, oh boy, I can't wait to uncover this mystery. And he's like, nah, man, give me the stuff.
I haven't had a loot upgrade in 3 sessions. I need some stuff, dog.
I need some loot.
Well, let's see what we can find. So yeah, let's take a look at the living quarter.
All right. So you guys kind of go in. Anyone who wants to give me a probably an investigation check.
I am not good at that, but I'll roll one.
Yeah.
Warriors lead the way on that one.
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
Yeah,
So
see.
as you come in, so you kind of notice that there's like all these like what appears to be clearly like bunk beds like built in. You know, kind of whoever ran this was very like regimented in how they organized things and how they did things. People lived probably a very like simple and disciplined lifestyle, almost like it's not necessarily like a military compound, but the people there were very regimented in how they live. They each had a bunk bed and what looks like a trunk at the end where they could store like personal belongings in there. And then, hold on, let me find my notes about what exactly is in this area. It's on the next page. Yeah, so you find all the beds. You also find some like personal notes. A lot of it's just like travel plans, like family, like notes to family, etc. That you would definitely get the impression that these people lived before the cataclysm. The people here, they were, they would go and you would recognize like, yeah, they're going to go off and maybe go to Coruscant for their break or whatever. So you kind of get that impression. You also find a reference to kind of the company they work for, and it was called Biocore. And so you wouldn't know kind of any reference besides this. You wouldn't know who they are, but you would get that's who they work for, is a company called Biocore. And also in one of the trunks, someone go ahead and roll me a D10.
Orgus will pass this along to Reclaimer, and along with the suggestion that I think these would do nicely in your Museum of Yesteryear.
Oh, sorry, I was engrossed in memories. Yes. Give me.
Okay.
You
And
want to go for that D10 too, Clever?
yeah.
Yep.
No, I don't know if that's good or bad. Actually, I don't know if that-
Nice.
It's
No,
a
that's actually very
number.
good. Yeah, so you actually find like a stash. You would know two things about this. One, you would find 10,000 credits. But two, you would
Nice.
know that someone left 10,000 credits behind. And so take that for what you will. Yep. But the group does now find 10,000 credits that they can distribute as they choose.
Glamour just like looking at the money, raising it up, just like, what is 10,000 credits worth to each of all of you?
Roughly.
It's worth the 2,000 I'm putting on my character sheet right now. Also,
Correct.
whatever I can make with it. Can these credits be used? Well, no, I'm thinking of. Never mind. I'm thinking of Starfinder and how credits are interchangeable with UPBs, and you can just make stuff with them.
We should include fours in the score, so I think 2,000 apiece is fair. Even if he's not here today, he is usually our de facto leader, and he deserves his cut.
And he also helps us look, like we're not psychopaths. He does do that, and that's helpful. It's very helpful. We need a leader
Yes,
that
he
makes us
is
look
illusions.
less than crazy.
Gus and I are not crazy. We're enterprising beings. He's maybe a bit loose with the knife and not the best doctor, but he's not crazy.
I'm the best doctor on this planet.
My arm falls off daily.
Without me, you wouldn't have an arm. And also say, by the way, what if he's going to look at Reclaimer and say, what if we used blood as coolant? Or coolant as... Never mind.
This is what I was trying to tell you.
Yeah, but you need to... I need to get back to the station. I've got...
It's in your mind. You know I'm correct. I am a genius.
He's been left with much to ponder. So, 2,000 credits richer, and oh boy, big ideas in his head.
Yeah. Reclaimer does seem a little bit unnerved by the fact someone left all this money here, though.
For sure.
Yeah.
Nobody leaves
so
that much money behind.
He just looks to everyone else and just says, all right, I'll say it. We're all thinking it. They're all dead. Dead as hell.
Davik nods and goes, yeah, they're dead. But what made the signal start back? It just started back 3 days ago.
Oh, of course they're dead. This is 200 years ago.
But the signal just started, and there's power to the signal. Somebody must have triggered it.
My money is on a primitive hitting it with a stick.
I mean, well, it could be tied to the planet's movements itself, and when it detects that there's going to be an eclipse in a certain amount of time, off
that
it
would
goes.
make sense. The public would be able to scout out their lunar orbit.
But I mean, is there a way to discern if that theory is correct, or if we go take a look at the terminal? That was a question to our.
Oh, it was to me.
Yeah.
The challenge would be that the terminals don't have power, so you could try to rig up a power source. You kind of exit, but if you were to go to just the terminal, that you can tell that was really the only purpose of the terminal, is just like informational for the signal, and then it had a map.
Before we went to break, I was wondering what the original power source of this facility was. Did it have its own power generator that we could try and locate and maybe turn on, or?
Yeah, you would know that it would have to have some type of power source. But you would assume after such a long time, the chances of getting it working, even if you were to locate it, probably wouldn't be that good. Well, especially, this place doesn't look like it's in good shape.
Reclaimer, we have a 200-year-old facility here, and a 200-year-old power station.
10 days.
Do you think you could get it going again? Get it going again?
I will require 10 days. I will have this place running at 15 percent efficiency. Which is better than 0.
Marginally.
Arm versus no arm. There's always the question. But I knew your opinion to start with.
First off, his arm only has a 5% failure rate. Thank you very much. And
Generous some.
Yes, but I've seen it happen every time he fights someone. So it feels
I've seen it happen when
very-
he walks.
Tommy just
I hope-
nods in the background knowingly.
I hope the flesh legs won't do that. I mean, nothing.
Tafik, I
Beep
feel like you
boop.
should invest your credits in fixing your arm.
Unfortunately, I have no skill with the mechanical or biological, but I have pledged my life debt to Gus. And
you people, I give this man a working limb with scraps on a desolate planet, and it falls off sometime.
Give me 3 days. I can attempt to create another.
Tavik looks really fearful at that, and he's.
How much do you require?
I
Less,
pledged the life
of
debt
course,
to
of your skin.
Gus, and I cannot betray him by getting a new arm, no matter how shiny it
how is
may
that
have been.
betrayal? Here's the thing.
Oh,
if
do
you
not
were to
worry. I
act-
will not replace his technology. I meant your other arm.
Tavik just kind of like looks really uncomfortable and like scoots towards the entrance like this.
Do not worry.
the
I will
thing.
keep it safe.
if
I
you
have a
were-
cooler.
If you were to ask Orgus to fix your arm, wouldn't you just be ensuring a greater life debt to him? And therefore, the only responsible thing to do would be to outsource your debts to others, so that you're not creating an undue burden.
Can
Well,
you
the
give
life
a life
debt
debt
is
to
full-
2 people?
I don't know if you can.
What do you think I'm trying to make happen?
Well, the life debt was not for the arm, which is shoddily made, but he did save my life because he is a somewhat decently kind of talented doctor. Kind of.
I swear.
I
Maybe.
am also a talented physician.
You realize that the arm works just about as well as the speeder outside. We've just been very lucky. I cannot believe this. This is the thanks that I get. I make a
ran that-
miracle happen on your shoulder, and this is the thanks that I get.
I ran that speeder like an asteroid and it did not explode. He takes 5 steps and it falls off. Tavik, example.
He should take that up with his maker, keeper, whatever religious sort of thing is associated with his species, and ask them, why am I so unlucky?
When we pass back through the village of not Bothans on our way back, I'm going to see if I can find the hooves of the pygmy goat we left there, and see if I can make some form of glue, because I feel like that might be helpful. Help keep attached, perhaps. I'm sorry, August. Did you try glue?
I mean, I tried a form of glue, but I did the best that I could with the tools at hand. Again!
And now I'm expanding your toolbox with pygmy glue.
I
Tavik
would
held
need-
arm behind his back. It says, it is fine.
Are you sure I could give you knife fingers? Like Revelation.
Wait.
Though he had
Oh.
those beforehand, I can make new ones. I can even haggle one of his skins from him to put over the top of it. No one would notice. Except for the stitches.
I mean, and the fact that our good friend here is covered in scales, not...
We
Yes.
have something in there for it.
Tavik nods and like he's clearly saying this through like clenched teeth. Gus did a fine job. I
Thank
will
you. Thank you.
All right.
Your
However,
admiration is admirable. He is a great doctor.
Yeah.
All
yeah.
right.
How quickly this tune changes. Isn't there a third room that we're missing?
No, living quarters.
Yep, you guys got all three,
Okay.
and so now it's kind of getting like late, so you guys can stay where you're at inside, or if you wanted to venture back out, you could. But it's definitely getting like dark out.
I called top bunk.
I vote we camp out in the facility.
All right, yeah. So you guys can definitely. There's not necessarily like beds anymore, but there are bunks that you could certainly stay in. To a much more comfortable situation than if you were out in the wild.
During the night, can Revelation actually? Dang it, Reclaimer. I got their name. I got their names mixed up. Can Reclaimer actually tell the scary story he has? I have something prepared. It's all right if we if not enough time for that though.
No. If you tell the story.
All right, so he'll gather everyone up, just like I have a horrifying tale to tell you all, a true story. It was in the before times. Wait, no, checking databanks. I was wrong. Sorry. It was after the before times. A crew of 6 were in a bar, drinking, celebrating their new job they had just acquired, one with a major payout. And they were transporting a large shipment of glitter stem spice. This would give them a quite large sum of credits and technology. In their drunken stupor back to their ship, they did not realize a 7th member amongst them. As they took off to space, that thing took them out one by one. The first one, Darren, was dead. No one found his body. The second, Frank, well, let's just say we were never able to clean his corpse out of the airlock. Irenaeus, poor Irenaeus, fear got to him before that creature could. And Calculon. He lost his head. Luckily, we found it after.
I've got to ask, Futurama reference or no?
Futurama
Thank
reference.
you.
I was
Absolutely.
1,000% thinking I'm gonna post it up in Discord.
Manfredi and Jones were the last 2 left on that ship. That thing had pretended to be one of them, hid amongst them this entire time. As such, neither one knew who was the monster. The black box recorded them, first pointing weapons at each other in fear, but later laughing hysterically and then sharing a drink. The black box failed.
What
You
was
should have
the drink?
seen my surprise at seeing the crew of 6 I hired, only one man stepping out. That shipment of glitterstem spice did buy me quite a lot of archaeological artifacts, memorabilia from times long past. But that crew was gone. All that was left was one. And that is the story how I met Revelation.
Oh. Well, I didn't realize that it was a true story, not a, well.
I told you it was true.
Oh, I just thought that was for added effect to add to the fear
No.
of the. Well,
I was able to clear him
No.
of all murder charges. It was quite difficult.
So Revelation has first guard. Sleep with everyone.
No, yeah, just like the whole time the story was told, just like face palms, like an audible sigh, and that's how I met him. And he just looks over and like pulls out one of the skins he has that is a bit more human colored.
Well, it is a good thing that Orgus only needs 3 hours of sleep.
For once, Tavik is staying closer to Gus, not just to protect him, but he's like, he looks back into the droid, and Gus is like, "You'll stay awake, right?"
I don't think I'm going to sleep now.
Do not worry. Even if he did somehow go rogue and kill all of us, his blades are so sharp you wouldn't feel it. You'd still be asleep. Good night. Just turns off.
Alright, so you
Click,
guys are
click, click.
able to have a long rest if you choose to take it.
Yeah, Gus is gonna do his best to stay up for as long as he can. Just casting a occasional side eye at the droid with such violent origins. Good grief!
Has a face. You really thought it was going to be happy.
I mean,
He has skin on his. I'm not slandering. You want to have skin, you have skin, but it is unusual.
well, I wasn't one to discuss the source, and apparently the captain thought it was fine enough to send along with us, and I trust the captain's judgment, or perhaps I may have erred in that trust. But well, here we are, in the middle of nowhere with a person-killing droid who is wearing.
Do not worry. He would not hurt a fly anymore. Flashback to him like eviscerating some worms. I would even
Yeah.
trust him with my own child.
Again, maybe we can make the whole leg thing work, but I really don't. Never mind. Discussion for another time.
Do not worry. I am already equipped. Come on, I limited myself to one penis joke.
No, that's Orgus blinking at you. Like that's just.
Yeah.
I really need to get you on a table and just take a good amount of scans, and maybe I'll learn something. Maybe I'll want to forget something. But
trust me, you will not be able to forget.
Yes, the reassurance and friendliness of that tone is speaks volumes. Okay, so who wants first watch? Oh, I do.
And Caspar's already asleep. In the top bunk.
Of course, as he called it.
All right. Well, you guys are able to get through the night with no interruptions. You will not have a wilderness check. We'll consider this. You're sleeping indoors, so you'll actually get a full night's rest without a check. And yeah, so the morning will come around, and then what do you guys want to do?
Sweet, we found the signal. Can we try quietly or stealthily sneak out and see if we see people back at the camp?
Yeah, go ahead and give me a stealth check.
A group stealth check?
Yep. Well, that's a good question. Are all of you going?
Well, Orgus sure as hell does not want to stick around by himself.
Oh, so that wouldn't be a disadvantage. I forgot that I had because we had a long rest without exhaustion, right?
Yep.
So yeah, so that'd be 22.
Nice. All right.
Orgus doing his part for the average.
So that's what, 4?
Caspar, will you be joining us in the slow approach?
I'm sorry, I zoned out completely. I was thinking about marshmallows.
Oh, that's
understandable.
Fair. You guys are doing would you like to join them? They're going to try to sneak back and see if there's anyone at the camp.
Yeah, absolutely. I will do that thing. Oh, this was just a really good scary story, and I'm thinking about origins and just not paying attention. Your stealth just comes so naturally to me. I'm just always doing it. So
Yeah.
at
Yeah, so you guys kind of approach the camp, kind of being quiet, and you don't see any signs of anyone. It looks like that the campfire has now died down. It's exactly the way you left it. The food is still on there. The goat that you skinned is still there. No one has touched anything.
it's probably started to go bad by now, hasn't it? Having been out all night.
Yeah.
I think it killed
Well,
last longer than a day, hopefully.
All right. Well, if they're not going to use it, I'll take it back home. That's just that's just rude.
so you
Besides, we need the hooves.
collect the goat. Yeah, for the glue. Yeah, so you guys kind of go up into the camp. You don't see anyone. Right as you had seen it, you don't see any tracks. You don't see any signs of anyone coming in. It's still pretty early in the morning, like early dawn. But yeah, you don't see or hear anyone.
All right, so we figured out the signal, and probably get to head back, right?
Let's hope that the speeder's still in one piece.
That too, yeah.
I shall drive.
Or actually, how far are we from? I know you pointed on the map. How far are we from the HQ again?
You would be very far. So you guys can still see the map, right?
Mhm.
So this is where the Genesis is, and the HQ is over here. So it's like on the other continent.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we can't do that the same day. Yeah.
Yep. And then down here is where it just said research lab. So I guess just for reference, like when they said they're going to go to the east, they probably meant they were going to try to go up here. That's where Alavi would have gone to scout. And then the other guy would have gone to scout down here, Captain Thing, to the south.
No. I suppose there's nothing else to be learned from here unless somebody disagrees.
Yep. And you guys are like over here.
Yeah, I think we'll probably get to head back. And
All right. So you head back through the canyon pass that you had kind of gone through. It's about an hour and a half journey from, or hour and a half to 2 hours from where you had started at the base to where you would leave the speeder. Unfortunately, as you exit the canyon, you do notice the speeder, and it's still there. It's still intact, but it looks like someone just took things and just hit it. Like they didn't know what it was, but they just tried to beat it up with whatever they could find, like primitive tools.
An act of aggression.
It's safe to say that they were coming right for us.
There's no one.
It's
You don't.
fine.
Yeah,
We just need to put an auto turret on the thing for next time.
Oh,
you don't
no,
see anyone.
I will be
You don't like
blamed
see
for
anyone,
this.
but yeah.
Droid, you can fix this up. No need to commit as you say, a war crime for this.
But that's the fun part. He'll get started on fixing it. I got mechanics kits.
Yeah.
And we all
So-
better get our story straight before we talk to the engineer, because he will be pissed at Reclaimer, who's very responsible for all of this, right?
Oh, I'm throwing Thor's on the bus. He left us unattended. This is on him.
We never would have gotten into such trouble if Ford's come along. If you should be mad at somebody. That's a nice that's a damn nice roll.
Nice. So you're actually able to significantly repair it. Like, so when you first jump in, it doesn't start. But it's going to take maybe about half a day. But you're able to get it running. And you think it might make it back. And go ahead and give me a D6.
All right.
We'll see how reliable it is. High is bad. All right, so it's got unreliability 3, but yeah, it's running. It's actually that you probably did not think it was going to work. Well, probably Revelation and Reclaimer did, but everyone else probably was not optimistic. So
what if I hit it up with infuse item?
Infuse item. Don't really answer weapon or armor.
To help with that reliability.
Yeah, if you took a long rest,
It
maybe.
did say it took half a day.
Yeah, I don't think it would really apply in this case.
Dang.
Yeah, I think it would just be limited, to just a weapon or armor. I don't think it would apply to a vehicle.
I need to remember I have that, by the way.
You should probably use it on something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hell, even Revelation.
Yeah. If you wanted to retcon, you did it last night. You could do whatever you wanted. So that's baked into the kit.
Revolution uses unarmed strikes, so he doesn't really have a weapon. And who here actually uses a weapon?
I have a lightsaber.
I'd say
You
he's his
show-
claws or his mechanical.
I don't know that it would
claws.
be useful in this situation, but I have one.
He would slap that +1 onto the lightsaber if you show it to him, just like, yes, boop boop. It should work better now.
What?
Yeah. Casper has a gun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
they use
the beam rifle.
Wait.
The beam.
the beam rifle.
Oh, sorry. You're talking about a weapon. For some reason I assumed you meant like a melee weapon.
No, any weapon will work.
And also,
yeah,
are
I
we
definitely put
aware
that
of?
in.
Are we aware of this lightsaber?
I would probably carry it on my hilt.
Oh,
Like it wouldn't be
okay.
something that I'm that stealthy about. But if you were to ask about it, I'd say it's just like a family heirloom.
Oh.
You can hit someone better with this priceless heirloom.
Well, that's different considering the stigma attached with Force users here, right? So okay,
Mhm.
family heirloom.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure I was aware of that, but I can.
Yeah.
I would be trying to stealth my Force stuff to the most part.
Okay, Keith, you wanna? I don't want.
I didn't know you were a Force user. To be honest with you.
No, I
Oh yeah, that's right, because you swapped out. Yep. Yeah, you
Yeah.
swapped out the engineering for Force. Yep. Okay, I did know that.
I mean, I've used a few Force spells here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think part of it is I don't know if people would recognize what a lightsaber is, to be honest with you.
Okay.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I mean, you might, but
would
unless you've seen a
Reclaimer
Jedi
do?
use it.
I imagine Reclaimer's Age would probably.
Yeah. He wouldn't.
Yeah.
He wouldn't call him out. He wouldn't snitch. Just like sees it, boops it.
Well, and I'd just be
gives
like, this
an
is-
audible wink.
This is just something that's been in my family for generations.
Okay.
And it's a very valuable tool. If you need to cut through something, it works really well.
Now it works better. But he
It
gets
probably came in really handy with logging.
Yeah, if they didn't catch fire.
Oh, and I apologize. It's not a lightsaber. It's a light katana.
Oh.
It's very different.
Yeah.
And so the way I would kind of think this through, and maybe this is worth a discussion, but most people don't know who Jedis are. I'm guessing most people have probably never met one, especially one that's formally trained in any type of combat with a lightsaber. And so they wouldn't associate lightsaber with the Force. They would associate it as like a really weird magical tool that cuts things in half. Like, I don't know and that's kind of where I would go with that. But I think if people were educated and kind of did have either a long lifespan or a history or an understanding of the Force, they would probably associate it as a weapon of a Force wielder. But most people probably wouldn't know what it is, and even if they saw it, they wouldn't know that it turns on and cuts things in half. That'd be my guess.
Anyway, I'm going to put that +1 on my beam rifle. And having heard this discussion about the prejudice of which people with the Force are, would just casually put it into his jacket pocket.
All right, get on. I shall bring us there safely and soundly.
That's reckless speed, isn't it?
It is ludicrous speed. Yes, we're about to hit plaid.
I need.
I don't know why. For some reason, for Reclaimer, Spaceballs fits him very much.
Oh no. Okay, go ahead and give me a
7.
piloting check.
Plus
11.
And you're going
Can-
ludicrous speed. You're just going
Can
top
Revelation give him the help action?
notch. You go for it.
Yep. So at the moment he goes to like go for it, Reclaimer, Revelation takes out reverbs.
All right, so 25.
25.
Okay. Yeah, so as you're traveling through the woods, you're able to expertly go through the path. You're blazing, making all kinds of time. And then you come up onto this, a tree that looks like it's and it looks like it's placed there intentionally. Luckily, you are able to stop in time to not crash and die. So good job in the help package. That was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Is there a ramp of any kind here?
As you're coming up on it, you do not see anything that could be used as a ramp, but you could try to go through the woods and go around it.
I want to use a spell.
All right.
I'm going to use Force Jump to propel us on the speeder up about 10 or 6 feet, and then we just bypass that thing entirely.
Yes.
I think
You could force jump
though.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But if
I don't-
but it's also supposed to. Okay, let me look at
Yeah.
the wording of the
Itself,
spell.
yeah,
If we're gonna
it's
be all
Grapples.
rules lawyery about this.
Grapples the
Yeah.
speeder, jumps.
Force jump allows
you
you
were-
to leap up to 30 feet to an unoccupied
right.
space. And when
If you were
using a
Yoda-
second level spell slot, you can
Yeah.
just jump this. You can increase it by 5. So
You
I
jump
could
35 feet.
instead of jumping 35 feet, jump the speeder.
You can't grapple a speeder. You can't grapple.
So
All right.
if you were Yoda, I would let you jump off the speeder and then lift the speeder up, but you can't be on it when you lift it up. That seems to violate some things. Jedi don't fly. But unfortunately, you are not Yoda. So you cannot lift the speeder over the tree,
Do or do
especially
not.
when
There
you
is
are
no
on it.
try. Apparently, I do not.
But yeah, you were able to stop. You don't see any way to kind of ramp up, but you could definitely try to go through the trees. But it's pretty tight, and that would require some expert piloting to try to navigate through there without severely damaging the speeder.
With this tree, does it look like it fell naturally, or does it feel like it was placed kind of along this path?
Yeah, go ahead and give me perception.
Alright.
As you're like coming straight at it, Revelation will turn his head around and give just like a fun fact. The closest you'll ever get to living is when you're about to be dying. Unrelated. How are we on going through the forest to avoid this tree?
Question. Not question. This is just something I'm gonna do, but you can tell me how well it works or not. We talked about this when we were talking about the mods we could add to my character. My sniper rifle has the siege weapon mod, which does double damage to certain things. I can look that up. Can I use that on the tree to just like blast it apart and give us an opening?
You could definitely like blast the tree, and you could potentially like blast it so it would like break in half. But to like blast a hole that the speeder would fit through, your weapon wouldn't be able to do that.
Okay. I actually thought
Yeah,
that was
but
a
I'm-
good idea.
It was a pretty creative idea. It just
Hmm.
like you would need a much bigger weapon to blast like a hole that's because you'd have to incinerate like a 15-foot section of tree.
Well, what did Tavik notice about the tree?
Yeah, you would know that it definitely wasn't here yesterday, and there wasn't a storm that came through. So without kind of getting closer, you wouldn't know if it was like intentionally cut down. But logically, you would know that if it wasn't the weather that pushed it on there, something probably did.
Could an investigation roll be made as reclaimers barreling towards this at ludicrous speed, whether or not this may be a ambush set up by the indigenous lads?
Yeah, go ahead and give me an investigation, or actually an intelligence save, the one you want. Yeah, so you would kind of know if you were going to set up an ambush. This is a good way to set up an ambush.
Okay. And in relation to the felled tree, where is the speeder currently?
So you would kind of be back here. So I don't have a speeder icon, but actually, if you guys wanted to put yourself on the map back here, you could, but I don't have a.
Don't forget to throw yourself out there, Caspar.
And I would definitely say that Orcus really wasn't paying attention to the road. He was busy going over notes and moving on from Rhodians, trying to understand Twi'leks a little bit better. A refresher, since there's so many back at the Genesis and other places.
I'm always
Alright,
forgetting how
so-
to do this.
Just
So
click and
there we
drag.
go.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, there you go. So you guys can definitely get in the speeder and just leave, but you do notice that there is a guy. He's a same thing. He's a Shalbot. He wanders out in front of the tree.
So
Comes
Tavik
out of the forest.
would like unhook his blaster and kind of approach with his claws or hands up, and we're gonna growl out in basic. Tell us your name. We are not coming to kill, but tell us why you've trapped us here.
Yeah, and he would surprisingly not only understand you, he would respond in basic. Um, but you would notice kind of two things. Like one, and this is just something you generally know about the galaxy, is when there's a civilization that gets cut off, the terminology becomes almost dated, right? It's still the same language, but some of the terminology just is different. And it's because the language has evolved over 200 years. And so it would be a little broken. And he also isn't used to speaking it. So it would sound kind of like his words would be very deliberate. But he would respond to you in basic and say, I am the chief of this forest, and you are not supposed to be here.
Tavik will point to himself out. This one and us mean no harm. We've come to investigate, but we wish to be friendly. He points to the behind him. This is Gus. He's a doctor of sorts, kind of.
You were singing my praises just hours ago.
I think I said fine.
Yes, I apologize. We understand we're not meant to be here. We crash landed on this planet. We're not trying to be here. We're actually trying to find a safe place so we can exit. Would you have a means of transportation off of this planet so we can not be here anymore?
So he would respond to you and say, I am here to take you to the mother.
Yes, the mother. Is she here with us now? Is the mother here? Why do you wish to bring us to the mother?
He would kind of look around and just respond, the mother is always here, is always watching her obedient servants.
Caspar would look behind
Brew
him to the others
paddle.
and be like, pretty
Brew paddle.
sure Mother's a god. This is not great. Would
Who
it
said Go ahead.
no I'm just wondering. We come in peace. We don't mean for violence. He says as he moves his rifle to his back, but is like clearly it's a very big gun and it's there, and just bragging a siege weapon. So so we don't mean any harm. Where is your mother?
And again, he would just kind of blink for a little bit, like he's trying to kind of understand what you're saying, and then just respond and go, I'm here to take you to the mother.
Tavik nods and goes. And he kind of whispers behind him. Best to
It's
find
just
with
we
his
have
mother. Oh, go ahead.
It's just that we have a prior engagement. Don't really have time to go on sightseeing tours. Could we make an appointment to see your mother at a later time?
Tavik shakes his head. He does not speak for all of us. We would be most inclined to meet your clan and your mother and see what you have.
I'm just concerned. The way he's talking about mother makes me think he's talking about like a deity and he's going to kill us so that we can be one with the planet mother, the all-powerful mother planet. So that's what I'm a little worried about. I'm a little concerned if he tries to lead us to another location.
Is he carrying any sort of armament of any sort?
Yeah,
I'd love to do an insight check.
Yeah, go ahead and give me an insight check, and you would be able to tell he has like a large spear. So he's got like armor on, but it's like natural armor. It's not very heavy, but he does have a large spear, and he actually has like what looks like maybe a sling on his side.
Okay. Well, I never majored in anthropologies of any sort, but I do think he doesn't mean us harm. Is that the vibe that Orgus is getting, or should he make an insight check?
You can go ahead and give me an insight check, but so I'll just say, Casper, you get the impression that he is intentionally kind of playing stupid and trying to stall.
Yeah, Reclaimer kind of looks to everyone just like, we're not seriously considering this. We are on a timer, and he is not worth our time.
We're ahead of schedule by 4 days.
And perhaps...
Or 8 days, actually.
This is clearly
He's stalling.
an
Does anyone
ambush.
see anything around here? Are we...
This is a setup.
It's
we
safe
scan
to
for,
say
like-
that with Orgus's roll of 19, that he's in the same page as our good boy
well,
Caspar.
That being a crit, I'll just tell you that he's waiting for someone else to come.
Which, is he looking in a certain direction?
Yeah, you can kind of see that he's kind of looking like upward and down. So like he's kind of looking up here and he's kind of looking down here. You're more than welcome to do a perception to see or see if you hear or see anything.
Oh,
Okay. This may be reckless and stupid, but Caspar would just try, peacefully ignoring him, motion to Tavik and request that Tavik go up and like approach him. But I'm not trying to approach him. Like I would want to go to this side over here to move the tree out of the way.
Sure. Yeah, you can like walk up. He's not making any like aggressive action toward you. So you are more than welcome to move up.
Okay.
Yep.
And if I'm interrupted somewhere on the way there, let me know.
No, he'll just kind of smirk at you as you approach and try to move the tree. Does anyone else want to move up also?
Tavik will move up if he got motion to, so he'll kind of move up to watch the guy.
Yeah. So both of you, as you move up, or anyone else that wants to move up, give me a perception check as you're going.
Real fast, Reclaim is sticking back because he remembers the fact that they tried to break down the speeder. So he's just watching everyone approach him with like, really? Really?
Yeah.
I see
So
a man
you-
with a spear, and I'm not frightened.
All right. So as you get to about here, you both would clearly hear noise down here, something coming through the brush and something coming through the brush. So if you want to stop, you can, or you can
Are you-
proceed on. Your choice.
Are you pinging the map somewhere?
Yeah, I
Oh,
just
can
see
you
it
not
pop
see that?
up. Yeah.
Oh, it's probably because I'm on. Okay, so like pinging the map like right here.
That
So
can keep going, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and
So
as
we
you come
heard
up,
something there then.
and I'm just going to give this
I
to you
would-
because that was a good roll.
Yeah, I would call out to them.
Reclaimer is readying an action to just start blasting. Actually, he's gonna ready an action to instead buff Revelation with the droid buffing spell. Yeah.
And if I still have time, I would have a couple of self-buffing spells cast.
Do we have enough
Yeah, as
time for
long as
that, or
it's-
is it kind of pretty immediate?
As long as it's not a hostile action, you could do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I would just want to cast my a couple of spells that jack up my AC is all. So
All
battle
right.
precognition and battle mind.
I think that would take 2 turns.
Well, battle
Yeah,
we
so it'd
talked
just
about
be-
battle precognition is like a all day kind of spell, so I wouldn't have left the building without that.
Oh,
Yeah, you can have that. And then you will hear the chief. I'm sure you guys figured this out. He will yell something in like a tongue that you don't understand, and these guys will burst out of the brush at you. So everyone, go ahead and give me initiative.
all right. Do we want to do tactical before anybody rolls, or are we doing our own?
I'm done for tactical.
Tactical.
Okay,
Alright.
tactical. I will follow majority rules,
Hell yeah.
and I am.
Saves me some tech points. Oh, we're doing well so far. Oh, that's a hostile guy. Never mind.
Yo.
Hey!
So,
far,
far,
the
that's
So
not
we're-
bad. We're at 20
Last
so
one.
far. Yeah.
Wait, does Revelation roll initiative?
No,
No, he goes after my turn.
Oh,
we got what, 3 of the 4, or
we're done. One.
We're all at 20 and up.
we're missing somebody.
Yo!
20.
Oh, I think you're on the initiative tracker for Gaspar.
Oh God.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, did you roll?
Well,
or not?
Yeah,
I rolled.
so
good
right
roll.
click on your guy,
Reason-
put add in, you can put your 20 in. So I think we'll be going to initiative 20. So really good.
That's right.
Wow, nice.
That-
Best tactical initiative I've ever seen.
Yeah, usually
Yeah.
for invasion, you guys have like shit luck for that.
Yeah, we rolled a 5.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll go last.
All right, so
Fine.
to keep it
Thank you.
simple, just I'll go at who had the lowest. Was it really
20.
Tavik at a 20?
20, yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
so you guys
seriously.
all. Wow, you guys will all go at 20.
Okay. Someone please add me into the initiative for you.
If
and
you
we
right
can
click
talk
on your
about how the
token
heck
and
that
click add
works.
token, you can add yourself in.
Well, I mean, I
Right-click on your
am
token?
right-clicking on my token. I'm right-clicking on my token, and I'm getting nothing.
I
Oh,
believe
just like
that's,
just click on your
maybe-
sheet. Yeah, click on your token.
Oh, is
and
that just for
then,
GMs
open
only?
your.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, I didn't. You can do something special as a GM. What?
Yeah, so you can right click on your token. and
Oh, add
token, but
turn.
yeah. Apparently, I
Oh,
did not realize you
can
could
I-
only do this as a GM.
here, I'll do it for you. There you go.
Thank you.
Now, now you can just.
We
Okay.
can play with
Nice.
this
I didn't know
after
you could do
session
that.
because I keep not being able to do this, and
You just have to click on your token before you click initiative.
Left
Yeah.
click first, and then hit the initiative button on your sheet.
Mhm.
But, I mean, if next time you can just roll it again, you can edit the number.
That too.
Just a heads up.
Yep. Yeah. So you
So-
will just put 20. There you go. I fixed it. for you.
okay, okay. Cool.
But you're all gonna go at Tavik's turn, so it's not. It's just whatever. So the chieftain will go first, and so you hear him yell something out. These guys burst out of the bush, and then he will say that that he can take your corpses to the mother just as easy. And he will do 2 things. He will let out a war
Sorry.
cry. And then he will get a free attack. So a spear attack. It's a reach weapon at Tavik.
All right.
And he does not have a. He doesn't
19
give
will hit
himself
the
advantage. So 19. And for 9 kinetic damage.
All right, he's gonna. So he stabs Tavik with a spear. You see his cybernetic arm opens up. He's gonna element of surprise him.
Nice. And you have reach back, don't you?
Oh, yeah, I've reached back too. So if he moves, I can hit him. But with element of surprise, it's 60 feet, I think.
Oh, okay, nice. All right. So dex save.
Nice.
4. So he fails. So 7 damage. Nice.
Gets like a little fire or stream of fire kind of emerge from the arm as he gets stabbed.
So you can clearly see he did not expect that. He doesn't. He doesn't understand what just happened to him. Like, to be honest. But yeah, so he kind of flinches back a little bit. And the first time I've ever seen tactical initiative work out. What do you guys all do?
I'm gonna use that action to buff up Revelation here.
Yeah. Oh, I apologize. Let me describe what you see. So I already told you what the chieftain are. So these are Malras. Actually, you maybe have encountered them in the past. They're just monsters that are found in other planets too. But they're bipedal, or I guess quadrupedal. So they have 4 legs. They run around. They bite things. And these are Shellbot warriors. So you'll just notice that they are carrying spears also. The spears they carry are lighter and smaller. But yeah, they're lightly armored, just Shellbots like them. Not really just all primitive gear. I apologize. You can go ahead now.
Reclaimer's gonna buff up Revelation, use bonus action to command him, and gonna move up his 25. And Reclaimer is going to, with his now double checking. Yep, double speed. He's going to move all the way up to here. Use a bonus action to where is it? Sonic Fist. And then main action Slice. Here. 16 to hit.
Which one did you attack?
Dog.
That will hit, I'm pretty sure.
Woo.
Nice. And yeah, so you cut into him.
Alright, that's all I had.
All right, Tavik is going to go after the chieftain. He's going for complete non-lethal blows, so he's looking to cut him up and keep him alive. And he's just going to unload on this guy. So he's going to use some force point or key points for saber assault. Then he's going to use another key point for flurry of blows, and he's just going off of this guy and praying that his arm does not fall off. It's a miss. So 14 and 18.
So the 18 hits. The 14 just misses.
So I think he has a slow. What's one? Yeah, so he has 1 level of slow until the end of his next turn. Oh, he has to make a wisdom saving throw too to avoid being frightened and get the damage.
Wisdom save. So fail again. Nice.
Yeah, so Tava kind of runs up and just kind of slashes twice, but misses completely. Gets a third one on and just kind of just glares at the chieftain. Kind of his lizard eyes beating as he slashes into him.
Yeah, so he's clearly confused by the lizard with the robot arm.
Caspar, do you want to go or?
I was gonna let you go first while I look at my stuff and what my bonus actions can do.
Okay, I'll just have him move up 35 feet. Hooray for optimized actuators. Yeah, there we go. One more. And he is going to try to fire off a shot at the humanoid that's gosh, I'm gonna butcher their names. The Shalbot. He's gonna fire at the Shalbot warrior that's by Revelation. No, Reclaimer. Right?
All right.
Yes. Okay.
So this guy-
that is Revelation right there.
Revelation. Okay. So firing off a shot with the blaster pistol at.
Orgus has bad luck.
When it comes to shots,
Yeah.
terrible.
it kind of fits his person though. Like roll 20 knows. Yeah. So the shot goes completely wide.
Okay. He will, whatever, screw it. Use his bonus action to get behind Tavik, using it to dash, and that's where he'll end it.
All right.
Okay. I am going to retreat a few paces to here, and then using a quick. They're still not that far away from me, so I have to go a little bit further back, I guess. Yeah. And I want to shoot at the demon dog thing, because that's kind of what the little token looks like. Kind of looks like a weird little feral demon dog. And I want to shoot at that thing. I'm going to move myself another 5 feet away because I keep screwing that up. And that should be 30 feet. Yes,
Yep,
good.
there you go.
Okay, cool. And I'm going to mark. I also want to mark this one down here. If that one moves, I'm going to shoot it.
All right.
That's my
are
bonus
you putting
action.
your hunter's query on something?
My ranger's quarry I'll add to something if I hit it. So that seems to be how it's, when I hit a target with a weapon attack, I can add that damage to it. So it's kind of useless to bother thinking about until I hit something.
Okay.
And
So-
where is my?
Well, hold on. Maybe I don't
Okay.
understand. So the way it works, right, is it's a free action. So I think you've got to do it first, right? Like you, as a free action, you put it on a target. If I'm understanding this wrong, please jump in. I don't know I've never played a scout.
Yeah, you point to choose who you're going after. That being your ranger quarry, then you start firing.
Okay. Yeah, so you could be like for free that this is your ranger query, and then anytime you hit it, I think it does extra damage or once per
Yep.
turn.
Okay, I must have been reading that wrong.
Yeah, I've never played it, so I apologize.
So yeah, I want to mark that. I'll mark this to be my quarry if
Alright.
if I hit it,
So
which I don't think I do
13.
with the 13.
Yep, it hits. Just barely.
Oh, that does. Awesome. Okay, then damage.
Nice. So that rolled the crit.
That is max.
It would just be the 12 plus the query, right? Because that wasn't a natural crit.
No, but I don't think I roll crit damage, did I?
That's what the plus
Like-
is.
Yeah.
That's what the plus is, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
so because it's assuming
Okay,
that you
so-
crit, which
Okay,
is fine.
so-
It just don't count
Just
that
be
9.
12, yeah.
So slap on.
Okay, so just the 12 damage then.
and the D4.
And then a D4 for the ranger query. All right, so
Okay,
14.
so 14.
Nice. You can tell that really hurt it. Like it's bleeding now.
Okay, and that'll be the end of my turn. There's nothing left. I've got nothing left to do.
All right.
But I would, if I could flavor, I would yell at these guys. You see that? You see how easy it is for us to kill you? Do you really want to keep fighting? Maybe you want to run away. Just maybe. Because we didn't start this. Okay, flavor ended.
Oh, but we'll finish it.
I would
Yeah.
rather they run away and be like, so we did something really stupid. We shot first, and then they shot us, and I have these burns on my torso. Like, my buddy's gonna die tonight. He's not making it. But we
Examples
started a
must be
fight we
made.
shouldn't have.
Uh,
Rather than, just
yeah.
leaving a bunch of dead bodies there for folks to find later and go, oh, so they just slaughtered them.
Yeah, I think that's everybody though.
Yeah, so unfortunately, that is not going to cause them to flee. But so the Malross up on top here will go first, and he's going to attack the robot in front of him that cut into him, and he gets to do a bite and a claw. So he'll do his bite attack, and then his claw attack, and he will actually have advantage on that from the chieftain.
Alright. Ooh, boy howdy, that second one won't hit Revelation, but that crit definitely does.
Yeah.
Crit
Yeah.
is-
So a crit and then a 14, and I don't know why it rolled
We
0.
max one set of dice here, don't we?
We do, yeah.
So that's
Oh, that is
that
brutal.
is 28 damage.
Oh no.
What happened to his HP? Doesn't matter. He's down. His
Oof.
HP gone off of his sheet for some reason. Where?
Oh yeah, because it's 2D. Yeah, right.
Yeah. He's down like really hard. Let me actually check what it is for us. So that's yes. Nine.
All right. So the robot goes down. So the Shellbot warrior will actually come down and come and attack Tavok,
All right.
and hopefully no more crits.
I'll go for it.
I blame Force for whatever happens. So he is gonna stab out with his spear,
That will hit.
and that'll be 5 kinetic damage.
Luckily, I've had my turn, so I'm going to spend another 2 of my tech points and do Element of Surprise on him. And I'm
Alright.
very consistent with that damage.
Nice. That's a dex save.
Deck save. He's looking rough, though. Or Tavok is looking rough, I should say.
All right, so he fails, so he takes 7.
Fire damage, if it matters.
That was not what I meant to do. All right. Yeah, see, that cut into him pretty good. He's not bloody, but you can tell that definitely hurt him. All right, and that's his turn. Now it's unfortunately the other Malross. And he is going to run up. And he's not very smart, but he is going to attack the thing that shot at him. So you get a free attack on it, and he is going to run by the robot. So the robot gets a free attack. So yeah, go ahead and take a shot because you marked him. And then Revelation, you can take a opportunity attack if you want.
Reclaimer, and I don't mean to alarm you, but he does not have a melee weapon.
Oh, you don't have to take anything.
I can attempt to make an unarmed strike.
It's your choice. Yeah, so that's gonna hit. So go ahead and give me some damage. Wow, nice.
1 damage.
Okay, it's 1 damage. Hey, so
Every point counts.
yeah,
Just like as he's going over, bonk.
Yeah, that really hurt him. He's bloody now. But he is unfortunately going to do the same thing. He's going to take 2 attacks at you, and he's going to have advantage.
Why does he have advantage?
The battle cry from the
The
war
chieftain. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yep. So a bite and a claw. So, wow.
Okay, that was fun. I believe those both hit.
Oof.
Oh no.
How you looking?
I think. Um,
So it'll be
That's
20 total.
yeah, because my
uh,
my melee AC is only 19. My hit points are now 6.
All right, you're still up. You're good.
I'm
Alright.
still alive. Yeah.
Nope. And then the last one is going to run up on the dock here, and he's going to take a spear strike.
All right.
So the warrior,
Snake eyes, snake eyes, snake eyes. Not snake eyes.
Oof.
only 2 kinetic damage.
That's good.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So your guys' turn.
All right. Who wants to go first? Actually, I should say before I go. All right. If nobody's itching, Tavik will go. He's still going to try to non-lethally take down the chieftain. He's going to spend another 2 key points to hopefully do a better saber assault, as well as flurry of blows, and knock out this chieftain.
All right.
Okay, it's having claws. Damn.
16 hits, the other 2 miss. You guys do have 3 inspiration. I just throw that out there. You guys do have 3 inspiration still.
You might want to save that for the death saving throws.
Yeah.
yeah.
Fair enough, yeah. Tavik has bad dice luck. So he will, hopefully, maybe this will take him out. DC 13 whiz save, 9 damage so far, and I know he's bloody, so maybe this will help.
Yeah, so let me go ahead and give whiz save. So he's going to fail it. Their saves are terrible. So 10 damage. He isn't down, but he's looking pretty rough.
As you see Tavik just slashing out, most of it to the air, but one good slash through. And that'll be his turn.
I'd like to go next with Arnor.
Yeah, go for it.
Reclaimer coming up here. He's going to cast Repair Droid.
All right. And do pets do day 7 throws? Because technically he would have taken his turn at the same time. So I don't know how
That's
pets
a
work.
good-
Do they?
He goes after me. That's something I know. Unless they changed that. I can't remember if they did.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That's because I can't remember if we. I know for the invasion game, I'm not sure if you changed it at all. But we just had death saving throws at the start of the turn. I can't remember if pets have death saving throws though, but I know we did it at the start of the turn for invasion.
Yeah, we'll assume they don't, because I'm sure you can just fix them up on a long rest, right? Like they don't permanently die.
Yeah, if they do permanently die, there's like, oh yeah, you can make a new one. Or the
Yeah.
same one.
Yeah. So no, you're good. You don't have to make that save throw, but that would have been his turn already.
Got it. So he's already expended his turn.
Yeah, unless the class works different.
Nah,
Because
I
you can
don't
just
think it
burn.
does.
Can you just burn in bonus action to make him act, or does he get his own turn?
I burn a bonus action so we can have full control over his turn. Otherwise, he can only dodge, disengage, and dash, I think. Oh,
okay.
and guard.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, so that would have been his turn, but he's so he is back up.
Gonna come right here next to him, supporting him, and as a bonus action, since I can't command him, I will make use of Potent Aptitude, and I will give that to the doctor, because he needs
Alright.
it.
All right. I don't know about the rest of you, but I am nervous about that war cry.
Yeah, same. I was trying to take him out, but the dice are gets me today.
Nope. So luckily, it only lasts one turn. So
There's nothing stopping it from doing it again.
Except your blaster. Except your...
Yeah.
You want me
well,
to shoot that thing? I will shoot that thing in the face so hard.
I'm gonna try something different. All right, so I'm going to use my bonus action to disengage.
Okay.
And make my way to the chieftain. And he's a humanoid, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to use precision strike. All right, so with that, I'll make my medicine check.
Nice. And he has to make a.
Athletics or acrobatics. Their choice.
It's pretty good. Okay, he'll go. He doesn't have either, so he'll just make a straight strength check.
Nice.
And he rolled really well and still didn't pass it. So 18. So yeah, so he is
Incapacitated.
incapacitated. Nice, until the end of their next turn.
Realize I probably should have done this before our good buddy Tavik attacked, but live and learn. Next time.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So he falls to the ground, incapacitated.
Okay. One more step this way.
All right.
Shimmy.
And yeah, I think that'll do it for Orgus.
So I think Caspar's left.
No.
So these things have wings.
The Moros? No, they don't.
Yeah.
No, they're just like cat-looking things, like cat or dog-looking
Okay.
things. You guys would know that they're both in really rough shape. The Moros, like really rough shape.
I'm just going to take a 5-foot step back. Hope it doesn't close in on me or have one of them abilities that lets it move with me. And shoot it in the torso.
Do you have any way to disengage? Because he would get an opportunity attack if not.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And
so I
that
know
was-
you're kind of roughly new to 5e rules. So if you wanted to take that back, you could. But he would, unless you disengage, he
Well,
would be able to.
let's see.
attack you.
I'll have to. Okay. No, you're right. I will. I'll whip out my light katana and try and cut him down. But I don't
Nice.
think I've ever actually added that thing to my character sheet. I mean, I have it written down, but I don't think I ever did anything with it.
You're just using light foil for it.
Yeah.
So it's
So,
supposed to be a D8 plus your dex.
well, that's
Yeah,
for
roll the
damage, but
D20
for
though,
the
yeah.
attack,
Yeah.
It'll be the same as
yeah.
your blaster though for that.
Same
Unless you
as
have
blaster.
any
Yeah.
modifiers.
Dex-based.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna do let's grab a quick D20,
Should be plus what 6?
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah, that's gonna.
I
hit
think
him.
that hits. So
Yep.
then,
So
yeah,
1d8
it's
plus
a
dex.
D10. So
D10.
You should, if lot for life foil is D8.
Yeah, I should.
the light katana is dexterity 11, hidden, luminous, piercing 1, versatile plus 1d10.
Oh,
How's
it's
the D10?
versatile.
Oh,
Yeah, probably
well, but
versatile.
versatile, but you
D10.
can't use your dex with a versatile weapon.
Well,
So what versatile means is you can wield it in two hands as like a two-handed weapon,
Mhm.
or you can wield it in one hand. And then you'd get the D8 in one hand. If you did two-handed, it'd be a D10. But if you do
okay.
something with versatile two-handed, you have to use strength.
okay. I
Yeah.
will bend the D8. Okay, so that hit. Grabbing the D8.
Nice.
Okay. And if we're
All
adding
right.
dexterity to that, that would be 3 again.
Yeah, he was at 5 hit points, so as long as you didn't roll a 1, you were gonna get him.
Nice.
So I cut that thing in half, and Casper breathes a deep sigh of relief. It's like, okay.
I was really
I'm not
trying to
dead
help you
yet.
there. I was like, please
Awesome.
don't step back. Please don't step back. Don't let him attack you.
So I take a step back.
So the thing is, I'm pretty confident in my AC. I've got an AC of 19, so I feel pretty
Oh,
good
yeah.
about that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Solid.
Yeah.
Unless these things are immune to psychic abilities that would, prevent me from having any spiffy intuition regarding what they might do. But anyway, okay, that's my turn, and I'm gonna mark this one. If it moves, I shoot it, and well, no, I've got to grab my rifle again, don't I? So that'll be next turn.
Yeah. So you. Well, let me think. You
Reaction.
feel. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to grab my rifle next turn.
All right. So is that everyone then? So the chieftain is now incapacitated, so he'd come to. Oh, and technically the chieftain got moved down the list, so that's okay. Worked out in your favor, so it's all right. So the dog would attack again, and so he would see the robot coming up to help, and he is gonna take 2 attacks against. This time it's gonna be Reclaimer. He will not have advantage this time, so it'll roll with advantage, but ignore it. Bite and claw. So an 8 and does a 13 hits.
13 hits.
All right, so 10 kinetic damage. Wow, they are rolling really good. That's
Wait.
max damage, by the way.
How do I have 13 AC? That hold on. Oh, that's why I only have light armor.
Hmm.
Huh. For some reason I thought I had medium, but that definitely hits, and that's a good chunk out of Reclaimer.
All right, so that'll be his turn. It'll be the warrior. I'm really cheering for you guys here. Come on, dice. Come on, roll 20. So the warrior will take a shot at Tavik with his spear.
That will hit. Got 8 left. See how this goes.
Oh,
6.
Oh,
I'm
you're still hanging in there.
And I've got my last 2 tech points, so element of surprise. Yeah, it's a bad element of surprise.
All right. He is really bad shape. But he is still alive.
Where's the
All right.
dexterity save too for that one?
For the extra damage?
For the 4, yeah.
Okay, to take it. Gotcha. Yeah. So wisdom, you said dex save?
Or dex save, yeah, that one.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
He
it's
is.
a full
Yep.
4. Yeah.
Yep. All right, and it'll be the.
Real fast. Sorry to ask, but
Oh.
how does Casper have 19 AC?
My force powers.
Battle.
Yeah. I have a very strange build that doesn't really make any sense, but my force powers, I basically have mage armor with battle precognition that gives me a base, let's see, it gives me a base 13 plus dex, and I've got a plus 4 to my dex, so that brings me straight to a 17. And that stacks with, that's like a all-day mage armor spell. And that stacks with Battle Mind, which lasts for 10 minutes that I cast when we were entering the fight. And that gives me a plus 2 to my AC and a plus 3 against ranged. But it doesn't protect him. It doesn't protect me against droids, constructs, or creatures with resistance or immunity to psychic damage.
Nice.
So it's a very intuition-based thing. So yeah,
A very high AC range.
Everything
Yeah, that's
about
pretty
this
cool.
character should be a melee-based character with my force spells and everything. But I wanted a sniper rifle, so
Yeah.
it's very strange that my character might be the best AC in the party and also stays at the very back.
Yep.
Something about concentration with that one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So you would have to make a con check, wouldn't you, for the hit?
I did not think about that.
I didn't either.
Sorry.
But
Nope,
no, that's
but,
fine.
The
I can do that.
Would it have mattered? Let me look. What did he roll?
I don't know what the concentration would have been.
Probably just a 10, I think.
Yeah, just do, 10 plus spell level.
Or
There's no way.
no, for just concentration, just 10. Or I think it wasn't over 20 damage you did to him, right?
No, there's
It
no
was
way.
20 on the dot.
Oh, so yeah, so a 10 then.
Yeah, 10.
Okay. Let me grab and what was
Oh,
that?
yep. So your armor would have fallen.
Well, it's a good thing that now we know that it's down. Cool.
My bad,
No.
sorry.
No, you're
No,
good.
it's fine. It's fine. I'm just
Yep.
more likely to die now. That's fine. But hey, the guy
Yep.
next to me that was really scaring me is gone now. I just have
You
to worry
killed him.
about
Yeah.
this schmuck charging me.
And for
But
any of the
Tavik wouldn't let that
viewers,
happen.
yeah, Tavik's fine. For any of the viewers who are kind of confused about that, so actually, Tegan and Todd helped create these rules. So when Starstruck did their series, a little shout out to that. They wanted scouts. I think it was specifically a scout that could use force powers, and so they created variation rules. So if you are an engineer and you want to use force powers, or I think it goes the other way, if you're a consular and you wanted to use tech powers, there are rules to convert, so you can kind of change those classes up. And
I
if I
love
butchered
those
that, jump in
rules.
there, Tegan, because I think you helped create those, right?
We actually we didn't create those ones. Gally
Oh,
or
okay.
Steve did that, but we did help with the Starstruck rules. So Emily Axford for Sentinel used the tech rules versus the force rules with it. So yeah, pretty sick on that side. We didn't. So Steve Gally, the overall creator of SW5E, made it official. But yeah, so we didn't make those ones. We did help consult with that season.
Yeah,
I
so
really
pretty cool,
love those
pretty cool.
rules right there.
Yeah,
They're
it's
dope.
just fun to flavor your character however you want. So
Yeah,
All right,
they're,
so yeah,
they're
so he's
great.
a scout that has
I was
force
ecstatic
powers.
when I heard about those.
Mhm. All right, sorry. Back to the game here. We're gonna see if Talbot is going to die. So
Yeah.
this warrior is gonna attack.
Oh wait,
here.
we just got to our turn. Did I do something or did
You
I
did,
forget to
you
do
did,
something?
because you brought back up your guy and then
Yep.
did something else.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. And so that was the last one. You guys are back up.
Oh, sweet, I missed. Yeah,
Yep.
I had 2 HP
nice.
left. I was really worried.
Yep. All right, so you guys are in rough shape. So hopefully this round goes pretty well for you.
All right. I'll go up. Tavik is going to use his action to make a cybernetic claw attack against the chieftain, and there's a bonus action dodge using his last key point.
All right. So the chieftain is incapacitated. So
sweet.
I assume you will get advantage on that. I don't know if that'll break the incapacitation, or wait. It's until the end of their next turn. Never mind. He's back up. He took his turn, so I apologize. He'd be back up.
Okay. Damn, bad dice luck. Yeah. So he just swipes at the air, but then he's going to use his last key point to put himself in the dodge position with patient defense.
Reclaimer's gonna yell out just like, the offer is still on the table if you'd like your other arm to be metallic and much better.
Oh. Tavik seriously considers it now after that showing.
Replace a limb in a world lacking in working toilets. But hey, sure. Wow.
You
So-
can see a working toilet in my museum.
I'm not going to touch that one.
At this-
T-ball. You just made it too.
At this point, I almost wonder if it would be better to just like tie a sword to his arm, strap it in, so it doesn't fall off, or like just with some duct tape, and just like this won't fall off. Like my hand will just drop.
Well, the nice thing with his arms is it gets reach, but it requires you to be able to hit for it to matter.
Yeah, you and Dice do not seem to get along.
It's hard to, I'm the DM, I work really well, but as a player, very terribly.
God, I
Alright.
can never forget what happened with the hut. How many crits there were that day.
How is the chieftain looking?
He's pretty rough. Yeah, I mean, he's not gonna.
He's
The
unconscious.
wind
isn't
isn't
he?
gonna knock him over.
He's back up, yeah.
He's back up. He had his turn.
Oh,
Yeah.
son of a.
I'm wondering if I should try, doing the same thing.
Absolutely.
or-
Decapitate the son of a gun.
This is your time, Gus. You will hit today.
I'm gonna try again with. I'm gonna make him. No. The hell with it. He is going to bring out his tech blade and hope that maybe, just maybe, he can do something worthwhile with it.
All right.
Okay.
I think you still have a potent aptitude, right? From
You do.
All right.
All right. Let's.
There you go.
Nice.
Okay. Apparently, I don't need it. Let's see. So, 8 damage.
He is looking rough. He's not down, but yeah, definitely a couple more hits is gonna bring him to the ground.
Okay.
You don't do sneak damage, right? Because you don't have advantage.
I don't. Yeah, because Tavik doesn't want to get any closer.
Does that
Like,
count?
come on!
He looks at the two people behind him like, yeah, they'll kill me if I move.
Oh man, I don't think the reach would apply.
It
As
wouldn't.
bad as I wanted to.
Yeah. But he's looking pretty. He's in bad shape.
Okay, and for bonus action, whatever. I'm gonna offer myself up as a target to this one here. The hell with it. Let's go. Move up. Get here.
Reclaimer time.
Kill some
Do
people,
it.
please.
This dog. Obliterate. Second level for that.
Does it?
Dex save.
He has 1 HP. He's done. So how do you?
I will still cast it, just like this thing almost dead. Just Reclaimer opens up the jaw, just ice blasts until it's just a winter wonderland on this one spot, just frozen solid. Mouth clenches back down, just like there is no kill like overkill. That is your cue, Revelation. Revelation's gonna come up, slide around back here.
Nice.
And he is going to go for the murder. So he has action and bonus action. 14 hit.
A 14 is going to miss.
Dang, that was maxed out. Oh wait, that wasn't even max. How's that?
You
Wait.
do have inspiration if you
Plus
wanted to try
5.
inspiration.
That shouldn't be plus 5 damage. That should have been plus 3. I don't know why it was that. May I use inspiration?
Go for it. We need to kill some people because we're pretty low.
15.
15 just barely misses.
Oh,
Wait, do we have flanking here?
No, we don't use flanking
Dang.
rolls.
Bonus action.
There
Net
we go.
20.
There you go. How do you finish him?
So with that nat 20, last time he got a nat 20, he flayed someone on the spot. Can he just basically carve this guy's face off and put it on immediately? Just
Are you going for the kill?
on one end, leaving this
You're
guy
just gonna
alive
wear
would
everyone's
be
faces
smart.
like hats.
Yes, leaving this guy alive would be smart. But the story has already been told. Revelation's kind of cold-blooded. He doesn't go. Yeah, so he just slices the face off, puts it on, one more slash right down, and puts the shredded remains onto his shoulder.
With
And
a
he'll
crit
let out-
Yeah, I'll give that to
he'll-
you.
This
He-
entire matchup, man. Tavic's been like, I'm gonna try to knock him out. I'm gonna try to take him peacefully. I'm gonna try to make sure he survives this.
Out of my
I
7 hits, I've hit twice.
Yeah,
Out of 7 attacks, I've hit twice.
And then the robot, out of nowhere, removing faces.
just like drips in one go, just cuts the face off.
Yeah,
And he's
that's-
gonna let out a shrill shrieking noise made out of a lot of different voices with his voice modulator in a lot of different languages. And Reclaimer's just gonna go yell out, "That is my boy!"
All right.
Just wanna
Doing
put
the
this out there.
reclamation project proud.
There's no rule in the rule book that says you need to have a face to be alive. Just because we have his face doesn't mean he's dead. You know, there are death saving throws, right? He
That's
might.
it.
Yeah, I'm
Actually
drinking of a
could be a
long
thing.
life without a face.
I think he fails 1 or 2, just on the
Or
whole,
3. Or
or-
3.
yeah, like with the whole like infection possibility of it. I mean,
Right,
I'm not
but
a
the
doctor.
infection's
Oh,
not gonna
wait.
kill him today. You know, he's
I
got
do-
time
I
for the
do
pustules to, create, and, before his face starts bursting.
I do apologize, but I gotta
No,
play. I gotta
No worries, man.
Oh yeah, we're not gonna lose any sleep over the dead chieftain. We're gonna take you to mother. No. We're
All
gonna
right,
take you to
and
mother.
so Revelation is then going to like get right here. While flanking may not be a thing, he'll still basically attempt that, just gesturing for Tavik to light him up.
So you've got another move action there?
Revelation is very fast.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, left.
especially with Reclaimer's motivator boost on him right now, doubling his speed.
Okay. I'll go ahead and I think I might be the only one who hasn't gone yet. I'm gonna shoot this one that's already been hit. Move action, grab my rifle, and
Nice.
it's dead now.
Nice. How do you finish
I-
him?
I just I shoot his face off in a non-lethal fashion.
Oh. Yeah, he has no face.
I
and-
non-lethally
Yeah,
shoot him in the face.
we're gonna say that him and the chieftain, the no face situation on the battlefield means death.
Yeah,
Um,
I feel
yeah.
like
That's
Orgus
fair.
is wearing brains right now.
between the blood spray of them both.
Yeah, seriously,
Alright.
just
Yeah. Gus and Tavik are covered right now.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I
you
thought
guys-
to myself, when you move to that spot, I'm about to kill that guy.
all right.
You're
Does
in
anyone
the
else have
splash
anything?
zone.
I'm this, everybody.
I'm gonna mark the remaining one just in case he gets the smart idea to flee. I can shoot him in the back. So
He
please
is-
run.
We might want to
And he
take
would
this
be-
guy prisoner.
Yeah.
Somebody.
I'm not gonna kill him in one shot. I'll just slow him down.
Just hope that Revelation isn't the one to get the final hit with the attacks of opportunity.
We'll only
No.
get three attacks of opportunity.
You will get a shot
at
on
once.
him, but he's going to use sudden rush, which doubles his speed and he doesn't provoke opportunity attacks, and he is going to run away. But you do get a shot on him.
Okay,
Dang.
so I
24.
okay, and for damage.
Oh,
Okay, so
Uh,
17 because that 9 is from the crit, right?
Yeah. How do you finish him?
Yeah.
One shot him.
Yeah. I feel like Reclaimer needs another face. So I'm just gonna take him out at the neck.
All right. So pop him right in the neck. He goes down. So the last one tried to flee, and that didn't work out for him. All right. So you guys are out of combat.
Revelation walks straight up to the chieftain and starts taking his skin as well as his clothes. No hesitation. Reclaimer just like,
No.
yes, you may want to calm down there. That's a lot of blood. Okay, he's just going for it.
You realize that this combatant is sentient enough to hold a conversation, however rudimentary it may have been.
That is true. I hope to bring him in alive to learn more from him. But, and he kind of like looks over his shoulder at Reclaimer. The droid got to him first.
Perhaps the droid can channel his spirit with the face. Oh, goodness.
Revelation has been known to pretend to be people wearing their faces. It's worked before.
I cannot wait for this guy to try and do a disguise check. I am looking so forward to that.
Howard just goes and sits back in the speeder. He just goes,
It's just a droid covered in skin.
Yeah. So as you are de-skinning the chieftain, you will
think it's
notice he
just
actually. Oh yeah, it's just skinning, I guess.
It's just kidding.
Why isn't it de-skinning? Flaying. Yes. Oh man, it's late. Okay, so you do find a pendant that he had kind of under his armor, and it's made out of just like simple wood and it's carved, but you would resemble it almost like the worms you fought, except it's a little bit more elaborate and it has wings, and he's wearing it like someone would wear something very reverent. You would find that on his body.
So I'm going to quickly post this real fast. My background thingamabob of historical knowledge. But if I had to go on a limb, Reclaimer looking at this would probably put 2 and 2 together, and his exact reaction would be this: "Ah, hell no! We are going back. We are grabbing all military forces and exterminating these. They worship the worms."
The ground worms?
No, sky worms.
Well, we haven't seen any sky.
Not yet.
When we put that together,
We are experiencing some degree of foreshadowing.
That was
What's
a
that?
lot of you talking at once.
Yeah.
With them saying sky, or because the talisman depicts the thing is flying in the sky, would we guess that like being the Dina one? I pushed the pronunciation probably.
You would, actually, with the background, I'll give it to you that you wouldn't recognize it as a Dwanagan, like a space dragon. The resemblance between the Dwanagan and the worms you fought are kind of similar, but they're definitely not the same thing.
Yeah, Reclaimer's just looking at this like, they fly them.
God damn it.
I didn't say
I will
that.
find any opportunity I can to throw that into anything. It is.
Episode 9
So-
best left forgotten.
Yes.
Somehow the worms returned. I'm out.
But I could feel like I would do a better improv session
Oh,
versus a
God.
movie. Actually, no, I can get to that here. But Keith, go ahead.
No, that's it. That's it. So we'll probably, unless there's anything you guys want to do immediately, we'll probably wrap up, and then it's getting kind of late, so we'll kind of continue your journey back home on next session. But is there anything last you guys wanted to do before we ended?
I'm good, I think.
The only thing I want to make sure we don't forget is that we just killed a lot of people. And I don't know how realistic this is, but I wouldn't want to leave a lot of evidence of this interaction behind. I would like it if the villagers for whom these people represent at best thought these guys were MIA. So I don't know if we can bury the bodies or take them with us and bury them later, or just chuck them into a ravine or something. I don't know, but I'd like to address the corpses somehow.
Yeah, you guys. I mean, you could definitely bring them into the woods. You could take the time to bury them. I'll just know because you guys would realize this. The chieftain wasn't necessarily waiting for the 4 people that attacked you. So
Sure.
I'll just kind of leave it at that. But you guys can do whatever you want with the bodies and the tree and whatever else.
There was probably others watching that fight. Well,
Okay,
Revelation's
yeah,
gonna
That's
string
what
up one of the
we did.
bodies
Yeah,
from the
that's what we
trees.
If that's the case, then if that's the case, then I would probably go to each of you and start each of you that had taken some hits and start casting heals. But we can deal that off air too.
I mean, if we take a short rest, I can do things. So I don't know.
No.
We'll see.
Oh, well, maybe we just do that next time. We start off with a short rest. Cool.
Yeah, so I guess there's really no reason not to tell you. So the next session is going to be picked up with you guys trying to escape. And you will be chased. It won't be a combat, it'll be a skill challenge.
Nice.
So, yep, so the next session we'll pick up with a skill challenge, because I love those, to see if you guys can elude capture from the Shalbot forces that are closing in on you.
Oh boy.
Okay, well, I guess I'm done trying to make peace with these primitives.
As you shoot
We
people
can,
away,
you know,
so-
Forrest is going to be really happy that we started war with these people. It's the one thing he didn't want us to do,
The thing
and
is,
now
I have a
we've
feeling-
started committing genocide.
I have a feeling if we decided, you know what, let's go with them, we would have actually been sacrificed to like one giant worm.
They would have fed us to a worm.
They would have been,
Or
would
we
have been
would
the
have,
queen worm.
or we'd be carriers for the baby worms,
Most
which
of them.
is, but yeah, not. I mean,
But either way is a good way to go. But either
yeah,
way.
yeah. Oh boy.
All right, we'll come by.
All
What's next session? Oh, the 9th of August. Wow. Yeah, so
Nice.
come back the 9th of August, which seems like super far away, but it's just literally 2 weeks away. And come and see how we escape
Uh-oh.
and how everything goes.
Yeah.
Spoiler
Should be
alert,
fun.
it's not going to go well.
Will the dice be in our hands, or will it work against us? We're
I just
gonna
wish I could
have
steal some of my DM luck for my player luck. 'Cause, like,
You missed so many. Like, I thought for sure you guys would wrap that up pretty easily, and then I was like, "Oh, a miss, miss,
And then a miss, and then a crit. Oh,
yeah." And the chieftain going first before everyone else, I was like, "Oh man, that's gonna be bad." The battle cry. Ooh.
yeah, it's the dice know what I'm playing versus like GMing. If they're against me when I'm playing. Because like if I have like a recharge ability, like a D6 one, like with dragons or anything like that, I can like 5s and 6s all day. Playing, miss. But
I can,
come back in 2 weeks. Join us on the 9th again. For that, come back next week for Invasion.
Asian.
And see kind of what the crew gets up to on Kashyyyk. But yeah, definitely join tomorrow too for the game of the month, the One Ring, with the Strider option. I'm going to do the solo play, so come hang out and see how that goes. I'm a little worried about it, but it should be pretty fun. So come hang out with us there. But thanks everybody for joining. I'm going to do a raid too, real quick. We got some people with us. I'm going to do Emma Panda. She's a pretty cool D&D player. I think they're doing D&D session. We're going to do a raid there, but thanks everybody for joining us. See you all next time.
Thanks.